Well, normally I have my logo, but I just realized that all of my stuff deleted. So we're doing it live. And so welcome everyone to another episode of Party Chat, episode 36. We got my co-host in crime here. We got Carl, who is still the CEO of Rumble, and my good buddy Ryan. What's up? How you guys doing tonight?
Well, I'm glad we're doing it live. That's the way I prefer to do it is live. When I do it by myself, people judge me.
Yeah,
No, really? Like,
I was like, wait a minute, where are my clips? Not my videos, and all my stuff is gone. So I was like, all right, well, I will have to fix that later. So off to a little bit of a hitch, but it's all right. So, and Carl, how's it going tonight? I saw you got something in the mail that looked pretty cool today. Nope.
Sorry, I had myself muted for a second.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I got my Persona 4 Collector's Edition finally, so that was very nice.
It's cool. So, and I'll go ahead and say hello to tonight's guest, who was on the most recent episode of Open Mic. We had multiple record-setting episode. We got Nightmare joining us from Gotham City directly. What's up, Nightmare?
Hey, thank you for having me.
Glad you were able to come on again and talk about a little bit more structured of a stream and talk about some fun gaming topics, not just to go wherever the conversation takes us. So good to have you on. So, yeah, so as usual, I'd like to kick things off with going around the horn here and asking everyone what they've been playing lately. So, Nightmare, have you gotten any gaming in lately?
Yeah, I forget if I mentioned it during open mic, but I've been playing FF7 Rebirth.
Okay, I think I do remember you mentioning that.
Yeah. Sadly, I just have not had as much time to play games as I'd like, and especially because it's the kind of game that you want to have a lot. You want to just set aside a bunch of time to play and just sit and play for hours at a time.
Yes.
So I haven't been making as much progress, but hey, it's nice. The game will last a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, I just beat all those games last year at the end of December myself.
Nice.
We'll have to get maybe we'll have to get you on the top 5 sometime, because my co-host of top 5, Jason, he absolutely loves Final Fantasy VII, both the original and the remake. Those are like 2 of his favorite games of all time. So
yeah, I know. I gotta hit him. I gotta sit him down with our friend Mr. Angry Canadian, and we gotta do an episode for that.
Oh yeah, because Canadian loves it. Well, I know he just recently played a remake or Rebirth.
He just beat Rebirth not too long ago.
Okay. So yeah. So all right. Final Fantasy VII, cool. Not my genre of choice, but I know that is a highly loved game for a lot of people. I think a lot of people probably put that in like their top 3 games of all times, probably. So cool. Ryan, have you gotten any gaming in lately?
I have not. It's bummed me the hell out too. Because there's something I wanted to start playing a couple days ago. I haven't had a chance. Work has been just like awful, and then of course I'm getting to bed late. So anyway, but I do, and I'm going to start tomorrow. I want to play Yasuka Simulator. I think I said that right.
Yasuke.
Yasuke Simulator.
Yeah, I've heard it said
Yes.
so many different ways. And it's like, so I don't know how to pronounce it. It's gonna, but and at the same time, I want to play it because so many people are playing the new Assassin's Creed, and of course, they're like talking about how bad it is. I'm like, well, I'm gonna play something that's gonna be, I know I'm gonna enjoy, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So that's kind of where I want to go with that. But now I took a little break from Fallout London because I wanted to start playing Yasuka, and I just haven't started playing. I need to though, but it looks awesome.
It does look like fun. I've heard it's pretty short, but it still looks like I think it's only a couple dollars too. So seems like one of those like throw a couple dollars at it, screw around for a couple hours, have some fun, have some laughs.
I think I got it for like 60% off, so I'm like, I'm not mad at it. If I get 5 hours out of it, great. I mean, because I don't usually stream that long anyways. I think the longest I stream is 3 hours. So if it takes up
okay, so you're gonna stream it as well.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna stream it. I'm gonna stream it. I took one of the AI songs and I like interlaced it with one of my because the AI song is like so awesome. I'm like, this game has no business, and it's an indie studio. Like the song is, well, I don't know if it's copyrighted, so I'm not going to play it on here, but I'm gonna play it because I don't care. I don't give a crap about copyright claims. So
right.
But what do you mean by AI song?
They have an AI like album. I guess they used AI to make it, from what I understand from like the chats. And the song itself is I have to
Are you
look.
talking about chat music?
No, it's not chat music. No,
Okay, those are
no, I
those are
think
pretty
they used
great.
an actual AI like generator to create a song, and like
Based off the game.
yeah. I don't think it's copyrighted. I really don't. I can't imagine it was, because Asmongold had it like at the beginning of his little clip, like a brief little blurb of it. But it's a freaking awesome. But yeah, they have a whole soundtrack. They literally have like, I think it's like 8 songs for the whole
This is the
game.
game itself. They created this.
Yeah, yeah. They're a
Oh,
bunch of
neat.
indie creators, like bunch of what's the program
His
that they?
Oh, the program, I
Suno
don't know. I
AI
was gonna say,
probably.
I know the developers call themselves history or
Yeah.
historical accurate developers or
What
something
what was the
tongue in cheek.
platform that they use? Is like
Was it
it's
Suno AI? I've heard a few of them.
no, it wasn't that one. I'm sorry.
Nightmare,
I've so derailed this already, and it was we're at least we're on topic. Like for one,
yeah,
I derailed it, and we're on a topic that's so.
Sorry, I just hear AI and I
Nightmares is
float.
all about the AI and like he knows about a
I
lot of this stuff and he works with it. We talked about it pretty in depth on open mic. So
I mean, if
Hmm.
Neo's okay with it, you play less than 5 seconds, you won't get copyright claimed, because it's just like the.
can you
So I mean,
copyright AI music?
I don't
I think
know.
that's still a legal gray area.
So it's one of those things. If I'll find this song and I'll put it like right at the really awesome part, and I'll play like 5 seconds, and then we can move on. But
Okay.
yeah, no, let me look this up while you guys are talking about what you've been playing. Because
All
these
right.
guys, they made the game from the ground up, everything.
All right. You look that up and then we'll make sure to play it before we move on to our topics. So, Carl, what about you?
Well, I can't remember what we talked about last time when we were on, because it's been so chaotic in a haze these past couple weeks.
Yeah.
But I did finish Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Okay.
Really did enjoy that game a lot. So it's a short game. It's only like 5 chapters. I think I brought it up. I don't know if I beat it last time I was on or not, but that game's really fun. I also beat a fun little game called Attack of the Friday Monsters.
I've not heard of that one.
That
No, I
is
haven't either.
that
Is
is
that an
a
older
three.
one?
It's a 3DS digital only game, so it's gone into ether.
That would
But
explain why I never had a 3DS.
but I bought it before it went
2DS.
under, and played that. It's a fun, short, little, charming little game about how can I say this? About discovering aliens, kaiju's, TV shows, and childlike wonder. That's the best way to say it.
Is the 3DS eShop still up? I thought they shut that down.
No, I said I got it before they closed it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so I remember I used to be in a video game group before I got kicked for being funny. That's the best way I could say it. Not anything too offensive. I was just trolling someone and he didn't like it, and contacted
Oh,
a
was it a
mod.
Reddit group?
It wasn't a Reddit group. It was just kind of like one that had, like, once again, Sony fanboys. They do not know how to take jokes.
I was about to say, also at the same time, if you're not pissing somebody off, you're not doing it right. It's kind of like a video game. If you're not going towards the enemies, then you're not doing it right. You're not going the right way.
Listen, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, Sony PlayStation fanboys are the least humorous people on the planet. I swear to God.
Well,
But-
they're the Apple users of gamers.
Yeah,
Hey.
they're weirdos. That's for sure.
Sorry if you're an Apple user, Neo.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But besides that, obviously, Neo and I have been playing Split Fiction. I'm sorry for blowing you off last Sunday.
Yeah, I was basically off the grid last week, and so I was like, hey, I'll be able to play on Sunday night. So he's like, all right, let's plan on that. And then I was on my way home on Sunday night. I'm like, I'll be home about 15 minutes. He's like, I'm gonna take a rain check. I'm like,
Yeah, it was
So-
nice and rainy and kind of cold here, and my wife just was chilling with me. I'm like, sorry, man, chilling with the missus tonight. Can't do it.
So yeah.
But, speaking of it, last week, how was Chippendale School?
That's members only content.
And then I got one more game.
But yeah,
that-
just about split fiction. Looking forward to finishing that off because we've gotten a good chunk of the way through the game. If I had to guess, I'd say we're probably about 75%. So I think we're getting pretty close. But yeah, it's been a great game. It's been fun.
yeah, I should be free Friday or Saturday, especially Saturday if you're not doing anything.
Okay.
And then finally, started a game called The Puppeteer last Friday or Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Started it last Saturday, beat it last night. Really fun. PlayStation 3 exclusive game from now defunct Japan Studios. This game was absolutely fun. Really, really creative platformer. Fun concept, fun story. I love the comedy in it. The banter between like the characters is amazing. It is a very child-friendly game for sure because it is basically a child's fairy tale game. But this was a very late PlayStation 3 exclusive. It released in 2013, and it kind of is forgotten. When I was playing this game, I could feel a lot of devs might have took inspiration from this, especially if you played Princess Peach's Showtime or another one too for Astrobot recently. That's what I was. So I feel like this is, if you like those games and if you were a big fan of Astrobot, this is definitely a game that you should look at. The price has kind of gone up because of the PlayStation 3 store shutting down scare. And to be honest with you, this is definitely one of those games that you need to go out and play right away. And if you want to save some money, try to get it digitally because it is worth every penny.
So it is still available digitally?
Yeah, a lot of these games still are, but it is getting to be more of a pain to buy digital games on the PlayStation Store because you need to basically buy a gift card, upload it to your PS4 or PS5 accounts, and then you have to use that to go and buy it off your PlayStation 3 or Vita.
Okay.
I
And
swear the best games are the hardest ones to buy when it comes to PlayStation.
Yeah.
I assume that it's a 3D platformer.
Yes. It kind of is like 3D, 2D hybrid. And the
Okay.
funny thing is that when you say this too, it does have a 3D functionality to it. So you can actually, I don't know if you could do it with glasses, but I know that if you had like one of those 3D TVs from back in the day, it was built with those in mind too. So there's a lot of like pop outs and like loop de loops and push outs that they have in this game. And I think they built that, to have that functionality with 3D. Because, like I said, there is a 3D mode.
Okay. And based on the name being called The Puppeteer, are each of the characters, are they like marionettes?
It's the best way to say it is this whole thing, excuse me, is you have a narrator, and the narrator is basically like doing a stage show. It's like an old-timey marionette show. Like everything is like a stage. Like there's different stages that you go to. They pop them up. It's like a mixture of like a pop-up book meets an old school, like medieval marionette show and stuff like that. It's really creative. It's very interesting. It looks gorgeous, by the way, too. For a PlayStation 3 game, I have it hooked up on my Sony Bravia that I have for my retro station, and it still looks really good. Like, you could tell this was a late cycle PS3 game because it looks spectacular even today.
Cool. Yeah, I had never heard of this game until you mentioned it recently, and I'm looking it up now just to kind of see what it actually looks like. But yeah, sounds really cool. So, all right. As for myself, I just finished. Was it last night or the night before? Within the last 2 days, I finished getting 100% in Dishonored 2. So that's one thing that Nightmare and I talked a bit about on Open Mic because he's a big fan of Dishonored, or at least 1 and 2. He hasn't played the third one, which I just started today. But
I'm so sorry.
It's just more of Dishonored. So I haven't had. I'm only at the beginning of the second level, but I'm not disliking it. Other than the powers. Not that I have that many of them, but the powers aren't as cool. But I like Dishonored 2 a lot. I'll be talking about it, Dishonored 2, in pretty deep detail on Achievement Chasers on Thursday. But yeah, I just finished getting the 100% on that one, and I enjoyed it. And there are some really cool levels in the game that we also talked about on Open Mic. And the third one, called Death of the Outsider, I thought, until I talked to Nightmare not last week, but the week before, I thought Death of the Outsider took place between 1 and 2 because there are some things that happen in 2 that in my head, I was like, this doesn't line up with what I'm seeing on the cover of Death of the Outsider, but it does take place after 2, and it's kind of filling in those gaps because like how does that work? Because the things that happened in 2. So that has been filling in the gaps for me, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. But yeah, I like Dishonored 2 quite a lot. My biggest gripe with it were the achievements. Took a lot of fun out of the game. That's basically the case for Dishonored 1 and Dishonored 2. But that is the main thing I've been playing. Yeah, I just started Death of the Outsider today. And I've played a couple of retro achievement games. I played through Mega Man Extreme, which was a Game Boy Color game that I had, and I forgot it even existed for a long time. Played through that one again. And another Game Boy game that I had way back in the day. And I remember playing it and liking it, but this is the first time Mega Man Extreme, this was the first time I played it since I was a kid as well, but Mega Man is a big franchise, and I've loved it basically since I was a kid. So it's like I knew I was going to like that one because I love the Mega Man franchise so much. But Bionic Commando Elite Forces was also a Game Boy Color game that I had. And I did play the Bionic Commando 3D one that came out in like 2014. I got 100% in that back in the day, but and that was pretty. It got panned, but I enjoyed it for the most part. But that's really Bionic Commando was really barely can call it a franchise. It basically has like 2 games, but since the Bionic Commando game on 360, I think it was probably on PS3 as well in the early decade ago or so. That's basically all the games there are. So I was like, going back to this is like, I liked it as a kid. So hopefully I like it as an adult as well. And I did enjoy it. There were a couple levels towards the end that the platforming was a little cheap, but I did finish beating the story. I still have to go through it again because there's 2 Bionic Commandos you can play as, the male and the female commando, and they each have slight changes to the campaign. So I have to go through it again as the female commando. But it was really cool. One thing that, I've not made it a secret that I've not really been much of a video game music respecter. I just haven't really paid much attention to it until I met a lot, until I started doing the YouTube thing. A lot of people love talking about video game soundtracks and stuff. And for being a Game Boy Color game, the soundtrack is pretty freaking great. And I've been humming it in my head like all day. And one of the cool things about it was that it is a Game Boy Color game, and there are a couple lines of voice dialogue, which was very surprising. And I remember that back as a kid. I'm like, voice dialogue on a Game Boy Color game? That's crazy. So it's only like 2 or 3 lines, but I beat that earlier today as well. And it was a fun game. So I'm looking forward to playing through it again as female commando. So that is basically what I've been playing here lately. And so, Ryan, did you have that pulled up before we move on?
Yeah, I did. Also, I found out, so it was the game was created with what's called Unity. You guys ever heard of that?
I know Unity is a game engine.
I did some Unity game development.
Okay, they created, the engine is Unity. So, because I played other games like that, Jurassic World. No, the Jurassic Park.
Oh, you're talking about
Breakout.
The game itself was made in Unity.
Made in Unity, yeah. Okay,
that makes sense. I thought you were talking about the AI song. I was like, how do you make an AI song in Unity?
No, these guys made I don't know how they made the song, but you'll see. I got it pulled up, so it will share at least.
Are you? I don't see it in the. Oh, there it is.
I remember my first time streaming. No, I kid.
Well, I'm kidding. I was looking for it because normally it pops up as a little bubble, and there's just our 4 faces as the bubble. Okay. I actually had to hover over it in order for it to show the fifth bubble. So they Restream made a couple of changes recently. So if there's more than 4 people, you have to hover over it to get the 5th one.
Yeah, StreamYard's made a few changes too. They increased it by 200%. So great.
Restream has not done that, so that's one thing that I'm like I took the right path on which platform I use to stream.
Also, high lowest expectations.
So
they just saw it. I want to say hi real quick.
We'll say hi. I'm gonna say hi in just a moment.
So this is literally done. This is their YouTube channel, History Accurate Developers, and it's called Yasuke the Black Samurai. This song, and this song, this is like the main song, I guess. It has no business going this, like, maybe kind of like, I don't know. Well, I'll let you guys listen to it and see what you think. I don't know what that is, but that's the song. I don't get it.
That is pretty good.
But
I could be way off here. Carl will have to correct me because he loves these games, but it sounds like a song that you would sing in karaoke in Yakuza.
maybe, I don't know, but it's hysterical that that's like the song for this
These
game.
AI songs are really impressive, and you cannot play the one I'm about to tell you about on stream. You'll understand when I tell you about it. But there's an entire YouTube channel called Hard Archive,
Yeah.
I like the name
Oh,
already.
and
oh
I've been
my.
playing their song "I Feel Like Saying N" tonight.
Today.
It's on Spotify somehow, and I've been playing that nonstop in my car.
Oh, that's funny.
And I've been very, very nervous every time I pass a black person, even though
Oh,
my
man.
eyes are up.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I'm not. I make eye contact with them. I go, "What's up?"
It's like in Family Guy when he's like, they respected me for it. I think it was like on Peter's like last day alive. He's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go say it, and then he walks back in the door. They respected me for it.
I could
But
just
everything,
see,
everything Hard Archive does is made by AI. I think they write the lyrics themselves, but then they just run it through some AI generator.
Yeah, for the music.
I mean, I don't know if this was made by AI. That's just what I saw in the chat. People are saying it's done by AI, or maybe they're assuming. I don't know. I'm just saying that the soundtrack, and I'm looking forward to playing the game. But I saw this on Asmongold's video because he put like a clip of that at the beginning. And I'm like, what the hell does this have to do with the game? And then I'm like, oh my God, this is part of the soundtrack. And I'm like, now I love it even more. Also, at the same time, I can picture Carl too playing that kind of music next to a black guy, and he just rolls his window down, sits there, and looks and be like, "What's up, man? How you doing?"
I would, but I'm afraid of getting shot.
I live by Chicago. Nothing like scares me anymore.
Oh, good God. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that would probably scare. That would probably keep you from being scared. Yeah.
So, all right, say hi to a dude who was saying hi over on Rumble, and he says, "Should I celebrate April Fools by gifting a nightmare game?" You can, but
No, I think he's
I'm
saying
not like,
he wants to gift me a game.
oh, by gifting Nightmare a game. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I totally misunderstood. I thought he was talking about gifting me a Nightmare type game, which I'm not even going to expand on what that means. But if you're part of,
I will
Daily
say
Games
really
community,
quick,
I'm not going to go into it.
for
But
Ryan's
he's saying
benefit,
by gifting Nightmare a game. Okay, because I was going to say I don't have the same rule as James. I won't necessarily accept everything. So, but if you wanted to gift them the Nightmare, by all means. So
I will say for Ryan's benefit, I recently gifted both Yasuke Simulator and Assassin's Creed Shadows to the same person.
Nice.
Yes.
There you go.
I have a feeling they're going to enjoy Yasuke Simulator better.
Probably.
Most likely.
I've heard so many bad things, and it's like I am playing of. Oh no, see, okay, I actually did start. It was last week, I think. Yeah, it was last week. No, the week before that, I did start playing a game. That I did it on purpose to hate, and I started playing Dustborn.
Oh, that's right. I have that in I have that video in my to watch list. I haven't watched it.
I gifted that person Dustborn too.
Yeah,
well,
I made them play it.
Well, bear with me. So I had donated plasma that day, and then I ran errands, and I forgot to bring a protein shake with me afterwards. So like when I got home, I hadn't eaten, and so I started streaming. I had to quit at like 55 minutes because I started getting like
it was only like 42 minutes long.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's
I started
short.
getting like tunnel vision and like dizzy, and I'm like, oh, I didn't eat anything, and I'm like, I don't feel good. I'm like, I had to go lay down. I'm not joking. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm not.
By not make that mistake again, you mean not give plasma, not play Dustborn, or not go into it having not eaten?
The eaten one.
Okay.
I donate plasma because I hate needles, and I figure it helps people. I mean, when I say hate needles, I despise needles.
Yeah.
That'd be a terrible.
Wait, how do you donate plasma without needles?
I was just thinking the same thing.
I don't look when they stick it in my arm.
I don't like needles either. The first time
I'm so confused. Yeah, I hate needles too, but now
It's a big needle too that they shove in your arm too.
Yeah, I think I brought something. I remember you saying that, Nightmare, when we were talking. Oh, that's why I was like, we mentioned that on open mic. You mentioned
you were asking about
hating needles.
tattoos, and I'm like,
I asked you about tattoos. That's right.
Oh, I could never get a tattoo.
I was like,
I don't understand. If you hate needles, why do you donate plasma?
Because it saves a life.
Yeah, because it makes it kind of selfless too. Because if I don't enjoy it and there's nothing about it I enjoy, then I'm doing it for the right reasons. Does that make sense?
You know who's really big into giving blood? The Sikhs. The Sikhs really like giving blood.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, they have like this. They're
Seriously?
actually the biggest suppliers of blood in the world.
Oh,
Hmm.
interesting.
I know some
Did not
secrets.
know that.
I also donate like blood too and stuff like that because I'm O positive, so I'm like a universal donor. So
Ah, okay.
please need my crap. Yeah. I hate it. I just hate it. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yes, no,
Go
I
ahead.
will not. I will not eat again because I was playing Dustborn, and I mean, like every 30
That's your
to
first
60,
problem.
every like it felt like every 30 to 90 seconds, I was pausing it and going, "Oh God," and I was like pissing about something for like 60 seconds about, "Oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this."
Do you
And
stream the game on your own?
yeah, I do.
What I would recommend if you want to have a good time with it
What's that?
is bring 1 or 2 other people on with you, just so you can absolutely crap on the game while you're playing it. It makes it much more fun in like a Mystery Science 3000 or Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of way.
I'm definitely open to that. The problem, the only problem is though, is that like I work in
Finding other people
aviation.
who want to watch you play it.
Well, that's true. But I work in aviation, so I work weird hours. So like my Mondays are
Ah.
Saturdays, and my Friday is today. So like I would stream it. I'm probably actually going to stream it tomorrow. And I don't know, maybe I'll split it and play Yasuka and it, or and split it the difference. I don't know. But finding people who would be are off work on a Wednesday, because I call it
Yeah.
Woke Wednesday, like like great name, right? It's ridiculous, but anyway.
Yeah, I was terrified of needles as a kid. Trying to get me my shots was like, oh my gosh, it was like sounded like someone, if you were outside the door while they were trying to give me a shot, I think the doctor was like trying to murder me.
Yeah, I find that weird.
get the
Didn't you grow
same
up by
thing when
Skid
I-
Row
yeah.
though? So didn't you like always see needles everywhere you went? Is that why?
No, Skid
You'd
Row's in
hear the
LA,
same-
right? I'm not.
Yes,
It's in SoCal. I'm in NorCal, but
You'd hear the same thing when I was a kid, except after that, you'd hear my mom screaming at me. So
I don't have that much of a problem with them now. Shots are no big deal. I did try giving blood one time, and I hadn't eaten all day, and I passed out. Like as they right after they got the needle, and I passed out, and then they took it out, and they're like, "Here, go eat something." And then I was like, "All right, I'm ready to try again." They're like, "Oh no, you can't do it again." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay."
nope.
And I waited in line because it was in college and they were doing like a blood drive, and so I like waited like an hour and a half, and then I didn't even get to give blood. I was like, "Oh well, that was a giant waste of time." I got a shirt though. It said I gave blood.
Stolen valor.
Yep. I think I wore that shirt once for like painting or something. Something I was like something that if it gets dirty, I don't really mind.
I only gave blood once, and that was in high school because I got out of like my last 4 classes of the day. And then I think we didn't get out of the high school auditorium until like 6 p.m. though, so it was like a trade-off.
I volunteered at a blood drive in high school, but I never gave blood.
Okay. All right. Well, back to on topic.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
No worries.
My bad. Also,
Dude is saying, Carl, you need to platinum the puppeteer. So
You need to play with someone else to do that.
yeah, he was telling me about that a little backstage. That there's co-op in it in order to get all the trophies.
It's tedious. It's very tedious, and I, even though I like that game a lot, I don't want to go and do all that tediousness.
But he also says PS3 and Vita stores are still available, and a ton of PS1 games are available that way. So cool
Yes,
to know.
The Suikoden games, the Mega Man Legend games, God Hand, if you're a PS2 fan, that's on there. The original Silent Hill, all these games are on there for like $10, and
Nice.
a lot of them can be played in a handheld setting, like between your PS3 and your Vita.
All right. Lowest Expectations, you're saying hello. What's up, Lowest Expectations? Good to see you as always. As is Paul, who I will be meeting in person in about 2 weeks because we are both going to Vegas. So good to see you, Paul. Hope you're doing well, and look forward to hanging out with you in person.
Yeah, hung out with him last week.
Oh, sweet. What'd you guys do?
Well, you responded to it, so you know what we did.
I forgot.
We went to this local burger joint in the Chicagoland area called Kuma's Corner.
I
And then,
was that
Did
in
you
your
guys-
Discord?
you guys went to
yeah,
Okay.
local arcade too, right?
we went to
Something like-
Dave and Buster's just because it was
Okay.
the only place that had the Halo Fire Team Raven.
Oh, that's right. That's what I responded to is the Halo Fire Team
Raven.
Thank you. That looked really cool. That looks fun. A Halo 4-person light gun shooter in the arcade. Like that looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. It's basically an arcade version of Halo 1 from non-Master Chief perspective.
Yeah, that's sweet. All right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and get into our topics for tonight. So, as usual, I like to offer the guest the opportunity to suggest a topic. So, Nightmare came up with what is a game that you really enjoyed that you were reluctant to try? So, maybe you had a bad impression of it going into it, just had negative impression for some reason or another. You finally got around to playing it, and you were surprisingly had your mind changed and ended up enjoying it. So, Nightmare, since that was your question, what was your answer to that question?
So I actually had two answers to this one. The straight answer is Doom 2016, and I
Really?
know Neo, you and I, for both of us, that was our first foray into the Doom series.
Yeah, we talked about that on open mic.
Yep. And so the reason is, before I had actually played Doom, my growing up, my understanding of Doom was always Doom 3, and I was always
Oh,
seeing people
interesting.
going, "Oh, Doom 3 is the best game in the series, and every Doom game should be like this." Now I know, of course, that those people have a screw loose, but
Hey,
you know,
dude is a Doom 3 defender, so he loves Doom
yeah, but
3.
it's a totally different kind of game, right? It's a much more of a horror game, and
It's
I don't like horror games.
same here. It's like
Yeah.
Doom in
Boo.
name only.
Yeah, and so Doom. I didn't know this at the time. It's traditionally more of an action FPS with
Yes.
a horror theme to it. But going in, I was of the impression that Doom was going to be a very scary kind of game, and that I would have nightmares. Pardon the pun. Um, so I thought it was going to be that kind of game, and so but I knew that it had that awesome soundtrack, and I'd heard it was a very satisfying game to play. So I finally gave it a shot, and it turned out to be one of my favorite games of all time because it's a horror game where you're more terrifying than all the horror.
It's like these
So
demons aren't
yeah,
trapped, or I'm not trapped in here with the demons. The demons are trapped in here with me.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, and
Still real
it's
to
also
me.
Alex Jones, the video game. So
That's right. Yeah. So we were talking about that. A good chunk of our talk on open mic was about Doom because we're big fans of Doom, and
yeah,
Nightmare has done some modding for some games and has modded Doom 2016 and Eternal, and put some Alex Jones demon clips into the game.
Ugh.
So,
yeah, and I did have a secondary answer that I just thought was interesting. My
so,
second answer, oh,
so, because you said Doom 2016 was the first Doom game you played, right?
yep,
Okay, so you didn't actually play Doom 3, just Doom 3, how Doom 3 plays was your impression of what the entire Doom franchise was going to be
yeah,
like.
because it was the most recent Doom game, and I don't think I think it was the only Doom game in a few years, and then it was the only Doom game
Yeah, I think the
for a
last one
long
before that
time.
was Doom 64, right?
Exactly. So my impression was, oh, this is Doom 3. This is Doom. You know,
Okay.
yeah. And so then that secondary answer, I just thought it was an interesting answer because my gaming background's kind of weird. It was Final Fantasy 15, which isn't even one of my favorite games, but it was the first like very Japanese game that I ever played.
Okay.
And before that, I'd always been reluctant to try anything that was too like anime-ish or Japanese-ish. And then I played that, and I was like, this is
How's it?
pretty fun. I hated the ending; they totally butchered the ending. But other than that, I had fun, and then now I think most of the new games I play end up being Japanese. So
I was going to say, that sounds a lot like someone else I know. Talking about myself, of course.
ah,
Okay, so Final Fantasy 15.
mhm.
Um, because I don't know much about Final Fantasy franchise in general, except for what I've gleaned
15,
having
I
people on the
think.
show. Which
Yeah,
one was
15.
15? Was that the road trip one?
Yes, it was the road trip and the boy band.
Okay, gotcha. I was
And the
like,
road trip was
oh,
really fun. I actually liked that. I just thought they butchered the ending so hard.
okay. Yeah, I haven't played it. I've never played any Final Fantasy game, but so. But okay, so you came around on Doom 2016. Kind of, I'm assuming that one blew your socks off, so to speak.
Yeah, and I played it after Eternal had already come out, so pretty much jumped right into Eternal after that.
Okay, so cool. Yeah, I played it. You know what? I could go and look, but I think I played it not that long because it had already been out a few years. Um, so I think it was not too long before Doom Eternal even came out. And of course, The search sucks. Doom 2016. Let's see here. I got my first achievement in Doom 2016 in January of 2020. And yeah, I think Doom Eternal came out in May of 2020. So yeah, I played it basically right before Eternal came out.
I played it a little. I played it after the DLCs had come out for Eternal, so probably like 2021.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. So
Yeah, so I was just able to play everything, which is nice.
all back to back. Well, good answer. So, and dude is saying that Doom 3 is a horror game where you get to fight back. I would agree with that. Yes, although that is also my backlog. I probably put like 4 or 5 hours into it, and it's not as scary as I thought it was going to be, and that's the main thing that put me off from Doom 3. But I do need to go back to it, and I'm going to be starting it from the beginning, because anytime I like start a game and play a little bit and then don't touch it for years, I start it over. But that's another one where I'm going to be playing because it's got a lot of achievements, and I only have like 4 or 5 of them, so I need to get that completion percentage up. And everyone like raves about it, but it definitely hasn't grabbed me for sure. So, and Electric Porpoise is over there on Twitch saying, I love the CEO of Rumble decided to come and chat. What's up, Electric Porpoise? Good to see you.
Hello there, Ken.
So, all right. Ryan, was there any games that you were reluctant to try that you ended up liking in the end?
Yeah, there's a big one, and it's one that most people are probably going to hate. It's Fortnite.
Oh, okay.
I was very, very against Fortnite for so many years. My nephew was 10 or 12, somewhere in that bracket. He wasn't a teenager yet. He begged me to play Fortnite when I started my YouTube channel. He begged me to play it. And
On stream?
On stream. And I was like, no, I don't understand the building thing. It looks stupid. I don't know why they're building this tower and they're climbing it and it just goes higher and higher and it looks stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say that because he's a kid, but I'm like, I don't know, buddy. I don't understand it. Like, let me look into it and I'll see if I can do it. As soon as they started doing the no build, I'm like, okay, let me give it a shot. Well, now he's 16 and he didn't give a crap. So it's like,
so now he's playing other games and you're stuck playing Fortnite.
Well, he plays Fortnite still, but he watches like these big streamers that play it like me. He's not gonna watch me. Like, I mean, not that I know of. Or not that he's told me, but he does watch the big
lurking.
Yeah. It's just I haven't played Fortnite in forever. Like we used to play it with the Vets Talking guys, because a bunch of military veterans playing Fortnite, and we would get our asses kicked because we all suck. So
there you go.
Yeah, it was pretty funny, but no, that's the one that I'm gonna have to pick is Fortnite. It was never my thing, and then I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot, and I actually kind of like it.
Yeah, I've never played it, and I don't ever plan to play it, but the no build thing, I know that kind of drew a lot of people in, and that would be the thing that would potentially pull me in to play it if I was ever going to, but I don't think I ever will. But okay.
I'm with Neo on that one.
I know how much you love this game, so I was thinking you were going to say Fallout 76. That was really hated in the beginning, but
no, I was excited.
You were looking forward to that.
I would looking forward to playing Fallout 76 because I got to beta test it.
That's right.
No, I did chastise it for its bugs, and I was like, okay, I want to play by myself. I don't want this to be like Star Wars: The Old Republic. I was very outspoken about that. So when they listened and they were like, okay, you can play by yourself. I played the game for like an hour with this, maybe 45 minutes with one guy once during the beta test, and I have not played with anybody since. So
okay. All right. I think I'll go ahead and go next. So one is like for a couple quick answers. One is basically a collection of games where I bought them in a bundle. It was all 4 of them, and I played a little bit of each of them because I dyed them all at the same time. And I bought them because they're puzzle platformers. And I love puzzle games, and I love puzzle platformers. But I played a little bit of each one, and I was like, I'm just not feeling it. But those are the Trine games, Trine. And there's basically a thief who's got like a bow and arrow and a grapple. There's a wizard who can conjure things, and there's a knight who's got a sword and shield. It's very pretty art style. It's a 2D puzzle platformer. And I played a little bit of each one of them, and I just wasn't really feeling it. But last year, or it might have been earlier this year, I played them. I finally got around to playing them very recently. And once I actually like got into into them, I actually really enjoyed them. It just took me a while to kind of not really get the hang of it, but it just took me a while to connect with the game. And once I did, I enjoyed them all. And then so along those lines, where it was a game like I played a little bit of and I wasn't really feeling it and came back and played it later, was Blasphemous. I bought Blasphemous a good number of years ago because of previous Party Chat co-host Mark the Cyborg did a video on it. And so I was like, you know what, I'll go ahead and buy it. And I bought it and I played it for like an hour or so, and I just was not liking it. So I put it on the back burner. I was like, I'll come back to it eventually. I got around to finally like playing it. I have now completed 100% of it. I got all the achievements, and I did that early last year, I know it was in February, either last year or the year before. I did it within the last year or two. And similarly, once I got into it, I'm like, I'm focusing on, this is the game I'm playing, and I'm going through it until I beat it. I really enjoyed that game and had a lot of fun with it. And I have Blasphemous 2. I haven't played it yet, but I'm looking forward to playing that one. And I really like that one. But the one that is the best answer to this one, because those two are ones where I went into it like thinking I was going to like it. I played a little bit of it, didn't care for it, and then came back to it and ended up liking it later on. Whereas this last answer here was something I was not really looking forward to playing it because it was a turn-based RPG. But I got into it and I really, really enjoyed it. And it's really, whenever you talk about turn-based RPGs, I talk about these games often because they're really the only turn-based RPGs I played. I played a couple more since, but these are the only ones that I played and actually really enjoyed, and that is the South Park RPGs from Obsidian. The Streak of Truth and Fractured But Whole. I have 100% in both of those, and I really enjoyed them. And my biggest gripe with Sword of Truth is that there are so many missables, so I had to play it like 3.5 times in order to get all the achievements. But I really enjoyed those games. The comedy is great. It feels like you're playing a long episode of South Park. And so that is my main answer to a game I was reluctant to try that I ended up liking. So, and what about you, Carl? What's a game that you were reluctant to try that you ended up enjoying?
For me, there's been a couple, but I would say Skyrim was one of those ones where I didn't like Fallout 3 at all when I was a kid. So I never really went back and wanted to play Skyrim. And then all my buddies, they were basically all playing Skyrim, and they kept saying, like, it's the truth, it's really good, you should play it, Adam. And then I did, and it's been one of my favorite video games of all time ever since.
Nice. Was Fallout 3 your first like Bethesda game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I think I've said this many times. It's sometimes you're too young to play a game, and then you go back years later and you go like, yeah, I was just a stupid kid. I don't know what I was doing.
I actually have a similar story with those Bethesda games. I played in I think I was in high school or something. I played Fallout 3. That was the very first one I played. I played it for like maybe an hour or two, and then I think I got to Megaton, and then I just got bored and quit. Because those games are like, they just kind of open up, and then they don't give you a whole lot of direction on what to do.
You usually have like, here's like where you are supposed to go to continue the story, but go anywhere you want.
Yeah, well, a lot of times they don't even do like, they don't really even give you a definitive go here. It's just like, here's everything, just go find it. And so with Fallout 3, I got kind of maybe overwhelmed and just closed out of it. Or not closed out of it. It was on PS3. But yeah, anyway, I was at a friend's place. And then Skyrim, I remember I played for like 5 minutes once. I was like, too great, I'm out. And then I played Fallout 4 and actually enjoyed that one. And then I ended up going back and playing Fallout New Vegas, and that's my favorite Fallout game.
Have you since returned to Fallout 3?
I have not. I keep thinking about it, and I know there's the whole Tale of Two Wastelands mod that makes it much more playable on PC, but I just never got around to it.
Okay. Ryan would probably know more about that because Fallout's one of his favorite franchises.
Plus, plus once you play the peak that is New Vegas, it's like any other Fallout game is going to be kind of a letdown.
Yeah, no, I played Fallout 3 first, and then I played New Vegas, and it was definitely my favorite. And I was actually shocked to find out that Obsidian made it, which actually made one of my other favorite games of all time, which was Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Nice.
So yeah, no, I'm a big Obsidian fan.
I
So
assume a
it's
former Obsidian fan.
yeah, this is the best way to put it. I mean,
Yeah.
I trust me, I got my gripes with Bethesda too. I got a lot of gripes with a lot of stuff when it comes to games because it just I think they've kind of goofed a lot of stuff up. But I think that anyway, sorry, you got me started on Fallout. You go ahead.
Yeah. So, uh, for me, my first Bethesda game was Oblivion, and it was I went. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to the game store because I'd hang out there, not a lot, but I'd go in there pretty often. So they kind of knew me there. But I was one in one day, and I was like, "What's a game? Just pitch me a game that is just gonna take me a long time to beat." And he's like, "Here's Oblivion." I was like, "All right." So that's basically what it was. I'm like, just give me something that's going to take a long time. And I never played an RPG because in my mind, before I knew about uh, Oblivion, in my mind, all RPGs were JRPGs, turn-based, anime-like characters, bright, colorful, in like a cel-shaded type of style. I didn't know that there were non-turn-based RPGs at the time. So, but he gave me that copy of the Oblivion right there. And
Nice.
took it home and I got obsessed with it. And I played, I don't remember how many times I stayed up playing it till like 4 or 5 in the morning. I got so hooked into that game. So I was like, hey, you know what? Let's look it up what else they got. And so I bought Fallout 3 on day one. And I think I put about 40 hours into it in the first 4 days. Loved Fallout 3. And then same when Skyrim came out, I could not wait for Skyrim. Played that for a good chunk of time. Basically, there was like a 3 or 4 year stint where I basically only played 3 games, and it was Destiny, Skyrim, and Mass Effect 3. But I have Fallout 4, and I've started it, but I haven't gotten too far into it, so I still need to get back to it and play through that in its entirety, as well as New Vegas, because I wasn't planning on playing New Vegas, but everyone's just like, you got to. It's like the best Fallout. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I
New
will.
Vegas has the absolute best writing. That's why.
So that Fallout 4, I've started, put a few hours into it, but when I go back to it, I'll be starting it from the beginning. But New Vegas have not even launched before, so that's my backlog. So once I start all these crap loads of new games, New Vegas will be one of them. So
Yeah. If this were a stream about Bethesda autism, I would have a lot of thoughts too.
I would be right there with you.
so
We could probably talk for hours about Bethesda, Fallout, New Vegas. I mean, the whole 9 yards. This is gonna be very controversial because I was actually, like I said, I've been playing Fallout London. I think Fallout London is a better game than base Fallout 4,
okay,
and it's a
Could be.
mod that was basically made off Fallout 4.
Could
Yeah,
be.
it's incredible. If you got GOG, you can download it for free. You just have to buy the Game of the Year edition, which I did. So on GOG,
Base
and
game,
then
yeah.
yeah, it's awesome. Anyway, I'm gonna do this again. Slow-
real quick, another game where I put a little bit of time into. I had to go back to it. I'm going to be starting from the beginning because I played like an hour or two, like a couple years ago, and it's come up on one of my roulette streams. But while we're on the topic of Obsidian, did either of you guys play Outer Worlds? And if you did, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Obsidian's Outer Worlds. I always get Outer Worlds and Outer
And
Wilds,
Outer Wilds,
confused.
Two very
Yeah.
different games.
Outer Worlds is the RPG, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, I actually did play that. I played it once, and then I never touched it again.
I
And
started
when you
it.
say you played it once, like played through it, or like just played it in one session?
I played the whole thing before any of the DLCs came out. So I
Okay.
beat the entire main story and all that.
Gotcha.
But I never got to the DLCs. I owned the whole thing, but I never got to all of that.
Okay. Ryan, what were you about to say?
I was just gonna say I started the game on my PlayStation 4. And then, unfortunately, this is when I first started YouTubing, and my computer crashed because it was older. It had been around the block a few times. It's probably like 4 years old at the time, and it died at like 5 years. So I ended up stopped playing it, and now I have it on Steam, and I need to go back and read, but I'll have to start from the very beginning. And yeah, so there's a couple of games that like I started and I never got a chance to finish because I moved. And so I bought them on Steam, so I start over from the beginning. But it's all right. It's the way it is.
Okay.
Don't feel bad if you don't end up getting back to it. It's not the best game. I mean,
I heard it's pretty good. It's not great. So I have
it's
heard that
fine.
consensus.
That's
is
the
what I would
impression I
say.
have as well.
It's fine. It's not. I mean, I think Chris Avalon was already gone by the time they made that game. So
I definitely had some gripes when I started playing it. I felt I didn't like the aiming controls. I felt like even at the lowest setting, like I felt like it was too fast. Like you go to aim and it'll go whoop,
Oh, the
and I'm like,
sensitivity is too high.
yeah, the sensitivity was way too high, and I had it turned all the way down because and obviously you don't have VATS, which one of my favorite things to do in Fallout is VATS, and I know some people are like, well, it's cheating. I'm like, no, it's part of the game. It's what makes it fun. Bullet time.
That's
But
the way that they were able to make it more of an RPG than a first-person shooter, and still have
Yeah.
to be real time.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
ironically, I never use VATS ever.
Wow.
see, I used it
I
all
feel
the
if
time.
you're not using VATS, you're playing it wrong.
I kind of feel the same way, but then again, everybody's entitled to play their own way. Like,
Exactly. You can play it
so,
how you
like-
want, but I think you're doing it wrong if you're not using
I
it.
mod the crap out of everything. So
yeah, the slow time motion of the Outer Worlds irritated the snot out of me, and even in slow motion, the sensitivity was. I'm like, what the hell is wrong? So I don't know. I don't know if they fixed that since the DLCs, but that was a big gripe when I first played the base game.
I don't even remember the gameplay that much. My bigger gripe was more with like the plot and the characters. They were just so boring. It's actually not far off from my gripe with Starfield, which I also played all the way through. It just wasn't that interesting or exciting. The best character in Outer Worlds was the old guy scientist at the beginning, Phineas, I think is his name.
Yeah, the eccentric guy.
Yeah, I kept asking myself, "Where's Ferb?"
Mhm.
But
I've never seen that, but
Yeah.
I got that reference.
yeah,
Oh, there
it's
you
a
are,
great show.
Perry.
He's a platypus, right?
No,
Yes,
he's an
Perry the
aardvark.
platypus.
Wait, so one of you said yes, one of you said no.
No, yeah, Perry the platypus.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
He's a
You-
blue platypus.
Carl, did you say he's an aardvark?
Yeah,
Yeah. What's that about?
because
Perry
it's
the
easy to
aardvark?
mess with Neo here.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
You're just messing with me. I'm like, okay, now I'm confused.
Poisson de ville.
All right. And Amon Ra showed up in chat saying, Moo, what's up, Amon Ra? Moo to you.
Yeah.
Good to see you as always. And Lois is coming in saying, Morrowind gang. I know he's a big fan of Morrowind, which I've never played, but I know a lot of people love Morrowind. So, and dude is saying dude also plays it wrong. He also never uses VATS.
I did want to address one quick thing. Dude said Arden is one of my favorite Final Fantasy villains, and I wish we got the Aranea DLC episode.
I
I
have no
wish we
idea what
got
that's
all the So Arden is the main villain of Final Fantasy 15.
Okay.
And he's also, I think, the main character's uncle. But the Aranea DLC episode, basically, Final Fantasy 15 was supposed to have a bunch of DLC, and the DLC was supposed to effectively be an alternate ending for the series. And so I am also upset because the DLC was supposed to be a happier ending. But instead they canceled all the DLC and just made like a weird book.
Okay.
So yeah.
Square confuses me just as much as it appeases me.
Yeah. Yep.
Basically, that's every video game company. They just always confuse me, and they also make me happy. I don't know.
Oh, at least Square isn't doing PlayStation exclusives anymore. I appreciate that.
Thank God.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of the reasons I play a lot of stuff on Steam anymore. I've kind of really switched in kind of a massive PC gamer because I'm so tired of exclusives. I really am.
Same.
They
I don't
bother
own
the
any
snot.
consoles anymore.
I still own them, but I don't have a PlayStation 5. I have no desire to get a PlayStation 5. I would rather just buy a new computer. Which actually I just bought a new computer. So I bought this I bought like a baseline laptop just to like write a book or whatever, take with me wherever. It's like, wasn't a lot really expensive. Well, I don't know what the fuck. It didn't the operating system wasn't installed correctly, so it didn't work. And I'm like, how the do you get it? What the heck? So I sent it back and I'm like, well, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. So I bought a new computer with a newer RTX in it than the one I got now. So I'm like, if you're gonna do it, just fucking do it.
Is this a laptops as well, or did you just change to a desktop?
No, I haven't changed to a desktop yet. So, but it's an RTX 4000 series. So, but because it's like I had a 2000 series.
Okay.
So, but I mean, the 2000 series was fine. It's just I tried to do it the practical way, and then it was like it didn't work. So now I'm like, I had to send the damn thing back. I'm still waiting for the refund. I'm like, I'm gonna buy one. I might as well just update, whatever. So like my streaming computer here, which has got a GTX NVIDIA GTX 1660 Ti in it, which is still not bad at all. It still played really well for even some of the newer games, when I had it. But I was like, I'm just gonna. But anyway, so got me going again. I'm gonna shut up. I can go off camera and just shut up. Like,
No worries. But all right, with that, we'll get into our next topic for tonight. Normally I do 5 topics, but I put 6 because I wasn't sure if anyone was going to have an answer for this. So this one may be a very short one. But given that today is April 1st, I thought I'd ask if anyone happened to have a favorite video game April Fool's joke.
Does Diablo Immortal count?
oh,
Carl was there.
I was.
Like you were at BlizzCon when that happened?
Oh yeah,
It was for his
Oh.
bachelor party.
I know.
it's not a video game, but a gaming magazine played this April Fool's joke, and it still bothers me to this day. And we played the trailer on here. It's when IGN did that Legend of Zelda live action Legend of Zelda. I know
That was my answer, and I got it
and they
pulled up
fooled.
here.
Yeah, they fooled the out of everybody, and I was like, dude, y'all are rude. That is just rude.
Yeah, that was my answer. Is because that's really the only one I could think of off the top of my head. So I've got that one pulled up here. If you guys wanted to watch it, but we don't have.
Oh,
to if
we
you
should
want
definitely
to.
watch it because even in today's world, like, because I know we're supposed to get a live action Zelda, it just got announced, right?
Yeah,
But like when this was announced and it was a joke, the CGI at the time was pretty damn good, and it fooled the shit out of everybody.
so before I pull that up, just curious if either of you guys had a favorite gaming April Fool's joke or happen to remember any. That's it's kind of a bit of a niche topic.
I didn't really remember any of them.
Okay.
I looked a few up, but I always thought that the Luigi being in Super Mario 64 was an April Fool's joke, but apparently it was just a hoax, not an April
Oh,
Fool's joke.
just one of those gaming legends that turned out to be false.
Yeah, he was in the code for the game, but they just like cut him out for some reason.
I had never heard that one. I did not know that he was even in the code, yet let alone hear the rumor.
I didn't know about the code part, but I did know about the rumor that he was in the game.
Yeah.
Similar to Yoshi. I heard that Yoshi was in the game. Was Yoshi actually in the game?
Yoshi's
No.
only in the DS version. And the
Okay.
DS version pisses me off because it should have been Waluigi. It should have been Waluigi.
I mean, because it's pretty much in the 64. It's only Mario. It's Peach or Princess Toadstool, whatever you want to call her. And it's and then Bowser. Toad's not even in it, right? They're like,
I haven't played it in a very long. I will be playing it at some point this year. But
I need to
haven't played
find-
it since I was a kid.
yeah, I need to find an emulator that would work on a computer. I don't know anything about getting an emulator to work, which is why I have yet to get it to work. So
I
mean,
got
There
you
are a
set up with that.
few emulators. I think RetroArch is
That's what I
typically you
used.
can use a RetroArch core, or
okay.
you can install some version of Project 64. I haven't touched a 64 emulator in a long time either. So
Okay. Yeah, no, if y'all can Barney style it because I'm a little slow.
I can get you hooked up with everything you need.
Sounds awesome. And dude says that Toad
Yeah,
is
I
in
was
it.
gonna
Okay.
say, dude knows these things, but he says Yoshi was in Super Mario 64, but only.
wait,
after you find all 120
wasn't that
stars.
another hoax, dude?
Because
Are
that's what
you
I was
messing with
thinking. I
us?
thought Yoshi was in it if you got all the stars.
I'm about to say it's also April Fool's, so I'm not
Dude,
putting it
maybe
past this
Yeah.
this dude's
yanking our
that
chain.
dude's messing with us, and I just said yes. I just
He
said
also
this
says
dude.
also says that Toad was in Super Mario 64.
Well, Toad might be just as like one of those.
I don't
minor
think he's
characters.
messing with us. I usually on this type of stuff, I'll take his word for it. He's usually right.
He's not a big kidder when it comes to gaming, so
No.
maybe believe him on this one.
I'm pretty sure he's being serious.
My favorite thing to do on April Fool's Day is just put on the SpongeBob April Fool's episode.
And dude, I think I had RetroArch.
But yeah, he says best way to emulation is RetroArch, which also allows you to earn retro achievements.
Yeah, I think I had that, but I couldn't figure out how to get it to work, or maybe I couldn't get the actual game itself to emulate on, and so maybe that's where I was goofing up. I don't know. Again,
I've tried RetroArch before, and it can be a bit of a pain to get working. I usually
Okay.
just end up going with the native emulators.
I use RetroArch all the time for basically all of my emulating, except for GameCube games, because that has to be done through Wii for retro achievements, or Dolphin more specifically. And I don't really have any problems with it, so I could definitely help you with that.
cool. Sounds definitely like a plan because I want to play some old games, man. Like I would love to play some old like PlayStation games, the whole 9 yards.
You can even play PS3 games in an emulator now, but your PC has to be pretty good.
Oh, look at dude just sent me proof. There is a retro achievement on Super Mario 64 for finding and talking to Yoshi. So he is in the game. So thank you for that, dude, as always. And Lois is coming in to confirm, says Yoshi is in Super Mario 64 when you get 120 stars. I thought so, but it's been so long since I played it, and I don't know if I ever actually got 120 stars. All right. Anybody, Carl, do you have anything about any April Fool's jokes?
There was one funny thing that came out when they were making Yakuza 7. The game director posted game footage on April Fool's Day that it was a turn-based RPG. And everyone on the internet was like, "Oh, it's an April Fool's joke." And then when the game came out, it was actually a turn-based RPG.
So it was like a reverse April Fool's joke.
Yeah, it was kind of like one of those things where it's like, no one really believed it, and they all kind of like just hand waved it away. And then when they're like, no, it actually is a turn-based RPG, you're like, oh,
that's great.
That's why I'm not too upset when people complain about Final Fantasy going action, because they took Yakuza from us, so we get Final Fantasy.
And that's what would get me into playing Final Fantasy, is the more action-based.
I think you should. I think you should give 16 a try if you get some time. It's very good.
Oh yeah, I think you mentioned that on Open Mic. I think I wrote that down.
Yeah,
it's a very good sleep aid. Yes, I agree.
By the way, Carl, I just realized you're dressed as Red Shirt Guy.
Yes, I'm a me.
He's a me.
I'm a me.
Well, yeah, but I mean the BlizzCon Red Shirt Guy.
Oh, I have no idea about
the guy
that.
who said is Diablo immortal an out of season April Fool's joke.
Oh, a happy coincidence.
Yeah,
I thought maybe you were trying to
about that.
A red shirt in Star Trek, and I'm like, well, your ass is gonna die.
I never watched Star Trek. I think it's boring.
I've only ever seen Kurtzman Trek, so.
Oh, ouch.
I don't know what to say. Well, y'all need to at least watch Next Generation, all right? Come on.
Nah, I'm good.
All right.
All right, I'm the odd man out on this one. I see.
I watched a good chunk of TNG way back in the day. If I was to watch it again, it would basically be a first time watch. I don't remember any of it because I was a kid. I watched a little bit of Voyager as well. And I've seen all of the movies. I've seen the Star Trek, the motion picture, and then I've seen all of the movies from Generations on. But that's about my extent of Star Trek.
I got thousands of video games I need to play. Something's got to be sacrificed.
Yep.
That's a good point. I don't have thousands, but I definitely have probably almost 100, and they're all on Steam, and I really need to get to cracking. Especially when you only play for like 3 hours at a time.
Yeah.
I know that feeling, but I also
too many games, not enough time.
I also play in bed or on my lunch break at work too.
Yeah, well, the problem is that I work a 10-hour shift, then I go to the gym, then I come home and I got to shower and I got to eat something real quick, and I got to try to turn on. It's a little.
No, I know.
It's by the time and then of course I got to try to get in bed at a decent time, so I actually turn around and get up at 3:45 in the morning again.
Ouch.
Yeah,
adulting sucks sometimes.
I know. I don't want to be an adult.
Yeah, I know.
And dude,
just being a kid, just being able to go on like 12-hour gaming binges.
Yeah,
dude, I miss those days.
Yeah,
stay up at a friend's house all night playing video games till like 6 a.m.
Oh yeah,
that's actually what happened. That's actually how I played Fallout 3.
I got in trouble for playing StarCraft one night, all night at my friend's house because he had a better computer than us. I mean, he had the game too. I didn't have the game, but anyway.
Oh yeah, you told the story.
Yeah, Saturday night and Sunday.
This, yeah.
One of our party chat topics was, what was the first game you stayed up all night playing? I think that was his answer.
I was drooling in the back of the car, and my dad slammed on the brakes because
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Dude All says he's never watched Star Trek, but he did watch the first season of Orville. I really like the Orville. But with that, let's go ahead and watch the Legend of Zelda IGN trailer from 2008.
That's so good.
I've got something special lined up today. I'm taking the harvest to Castletown Market. And you're coming with me. Now mind your manners and do what I say. Speak to no one. And for goodness sake, don't touch anything.
That's a slight gripe. It was on his left hand, not his right hand.
What was on his left hand?
The Triforce is supposed to be on the back of his left hand.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't notice that when I first saw it, but like later on I realized that. But still, I mean, the atmosphere, the music, and like I said, this came out 2001 or something like that?
2008.
2008, okay.
The other slight gripe I had is when he wields a sword here, and a little bit he's wielding it in his right hand. Link is left-handed.
Yep, it's true.
But other than that, I love this trailer.
I've been waiting for you, Link. You've been kept safe, guarded by a secret race. For this very day, the kingdom of Hyrule will fall. Nothing can stop the evil which has crept inside these walls. I am too late. This is the Temple of Time. When these doors open again, it will be 7 years in the past. Find me again.
Oh, it gets so good. I'm like geeking out.
I welcome the hero of time.
Hero of time! Face
And the crowd goes wild.
Coming on next April Fool's Day. It's a double April Fool's joke.
Yeah, that's good stuff though. That's really good stuff. Oh, I was so convinced for so long. So many people were so convinced for a long time.
Yeah,
I think it lasted months, like before they had to actually say something like, "No, guys, we're joking. It was an April Fool's joke," and everybody went, "What the?"
But we want that.
Yes. And then, of course, Nintendo had to deny for years, like, no, we're not going to make it. No, we're not going to make it. Yes, we know you want it. No, we're not going to make it. It's like, yeah, it created a whole thing for like probably a good solid decade of people demanding a Legend of Zelda movie, and it just finally petered off. And I think now that it's disappeared for so long that now Nintendo's like, okay, we'll do it. Well, after the Mario movie did really well, so
yeah, that too. So that's really the only one I can think of, but I do remember when that was a thing. I was very excited for it. And then yeah.
Well, there's a similar one. The rumor about Sonic being in Smash Brothers Melee, which is that's just kind of funny because it came true for Brawl.
It did. So, and dude says the IGN trailer is probably going to be better than the actual live action movie that is coming out, but that might be because I don't care for the new Zelda, and they're definitely using that as a reference. So,
Oh yeah,
and we don't know anything about it, but given how well Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have done, yeah,
who's
I
the
fully
kid who
expect it.
plays the main character in the new Dune movies?
Oh, Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh.
they're probably going to cast him or someone like that as Link. That
He's
Hollywood loves
so-
its femboys now, and the games have certainly turned Link into a femboy. So
And Zendaya as Zelda.
that I unironically think, you know what? I unironically think we could get Tom Holland and Zendaya.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Somebody was on Twitter too. Like they're talking about, and they were being dead serious. And I kept seeing the retweets. They're like, "Let's get Hunter Avalon to play Zelda because that's a trans. It's like a trans woman." Like,
Oh.
I'm like,
I don't know
Hunter,
who that is.
do you mean Hunter Schafer?
yeah, that one. Well, who's Avalon? I don't know. Yeah, Hunter Schafer. I don't know. Whichever
Yeah,
What
one
do
is
you
no.
mean? The culture critic Hunter Avalon?
Okay, maybe that. Yeah, no, that's okay. But Hunter Schafer, yeah. So they were like clamoring for this. I'm like, dude, no, just stop it. Like, and it's. I mean, it's Nintendo, so they're not going to do it anyway. But
Oh, you never know.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
God, no.
if any of the video game companies are going to do a movie based on their property, given how bad the Mario movie from the '90s did, I think Nintendo's going to keep tight rein on the Zelda movie. So I think it could still be good. I hope that they don't do that, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that. So, all right. Well, with that, let's see here. 1:11. So I'm going to go switch the order around here a little bit since we're kind of on the topic of movies and stuff. We're going to go into the movie topic that I had. And so for this one is what is a game you would like to see a movie of done well, not like some garbage trash fire. You know, there are a lot of really bad video game movies, but if they were to take a video game and make a good movie out of it, what game would you like to see? And who are you casting in the roles? And if able, who would be the director? So, does anyone want to go first, or does anyone even? That's kind of a loaded question, so I can definitely go first if you guys aren't ready for that.
I have an answer for that.
All right, what do you got, Nightmare?
So mine would be Just Cause. Now
That's one of my answers. Dang it!
nice. So in my case, I will say I've only played Just Cause 3 and 4. I have not played 1 or 2.
Oh, that's right. I think we talked about that because
yeah, we did.
yeah, because I would recommend playing 2. 2 and 3 are 3 is my favorite. 2 is also really good. 4 was okay. 1 is not that great.
Yeah, 3 is definitely the best in my opinion. And I think it's a good one too because the story in Just Cause is like it's not super important, so you can kind of go where you want with it.
Yeah.
But I think I would say they should heavily base the movie off Just Cause 3 because I think you could just make a really fun movie out of that.
Yes.
Actor wise, it's tough. I don't know a ton of actors who would fit Rico Rodriguez. What's funny is there's an actual actor named Rico Rodriguez, but he's the fat kid from Modern Family, and he does not look anything like Rico Rodriguez in the game.
Okay.
Pedro Pascal as Rico Rodriguez.
He's
No,
a little old,
God,
but he
no.
could be. He
Please
kind
no.
of looks like him.
He's in too much. I
He's
was
in
maybe
too much.
thinking
Chris Pratt as Rico Rodriguez.
No.
Tatum Brown.
Thing
No,
is, they're a little ambiguous with his ethnicity. Like, is he Hispanic? Is he Italian? I'm not really sure.
His name is Rodriguez, so I would say it's safe to say he's Hispanic. I was
yeah.
actually kind of thinking, you know, the guy who played Fez in that '70s show.
Oh,
Victor
he looks-
Valderrama.
I don't know his name, but
I think it's Wilmer Valderrama. Yeah,
Victor
but yeah,
Valderrama.
whatever his name is. But he actually kind of looks the part. He looks very like kind of rugged and all that. So I think he would be maybe a decent Rico Rodriguez.
so
As for
while we're-
director, what's it?
I was going to say, while we're on the topic, because Just Cause was one of my answers as well. No one's probably going to know this guy's name, but I want to show him. This was the guy that I thought could be a good Rico Rodriguez.
Is this your Tinder date?
No, I only know of him because he was on the recent Netflix Lost in Space. He was one of the main characters, and I thought
I can see it.
He could be a
I
really
can see
great Rico. So his
Kinda
name
looks
is
like Brian Callen's son. That's who he looks like.
I don't know who that is.
He's a comic.
But this actor's name is Ignacio Cerricio. I may be pronouncing that wrong, but I thought he'd be a great casting for Rico Rodriguez. He's
What's
I can
that?
see it.
got the look and he's about the right age. So
What's the actor's name
I can
for
see it.
Andor? What's his name?
Andor.
The hell is his name?
Oh, what the heck was
Diego
that?
Luna.
Yeah, that's
yeah, there
right.
you go. Let's get him in there. He's pretty
Yeah,
good.
he could. I could definitely see him being a Rico Rodriguez. That would make sense.
I don't know. I think I think
liked him in
Rico would have
Narcos.
to be like
He
very
was good in
classically
Narcos.
handsome, you know.
So, anyways, you were about to mention your director.
Yes, director. There's only one obvious choice.
I think
Michael Bay.
Yes, that was my
Yes.
answer as well.
I mean, it's a game about explosions. You gotta have Michael Bay. You gotta have Michael Bay.
Just Cause is Michael Bay the game. There is
Yes.
a Just Cause movie in the works, and it's not being directed by Michael Bay, which is a huge missed opportunity. I think
It's
if
gonna be crap.
anyone was meant to direct a Just Cause movie, it's Michael Bay. That was my answer as well. I don't even know the director for the Just Cause movie, if it actually comes out, is the director from the Blue Beetle movie. I think his name is Angel Manuel Soto, I believe is his name.
Oh, it's gonna be terrible.
Oh, that movie was not good.
What are we gonna get? George Lopez as Rico Rodriguez?
I
watch it.
really hope you're wrong about that.
I at least hope he cast that one. I think there was a hot girl in there who gave the Blue Beetle kid the Blue Beetle. I
Yeah,
hope he at
she
least cast
was
a hot
the
girl.
yeah, she was the rich girl that ended up falling in love with him. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
'cause
I
her
never saw the
father- yeah.
movie
I didn't
because
either.
the Blue Beetle. I mean, they should have done the first Blue Beetle first, Ted Cord. But
Yeah. No, I saw it was one of those things that my dad and I like to go see superhero movies, and even if I know it's going to be bad, like I'll still go see it for like the nostalgia because my dad took me to see the very first Iron Man movie, so it's like
man,
things.
that
go.
was a good movie.
Yeah. No.
And I just
Oh,
because
Iron
you're just really quick, since Neo and I discussed this on open mic, I once said that if you combined Iron Man 1 based on the movie on PS3 with Just Cause 3 with the Jetpack DLC, you would have the perfect Iron Man game.
Yeah. Once you get the jetpack in the first DLC called Sky Fortress in Just Cause 3, it basically becomes an Iron Man simulator. It's awesome. You just don't have the
Yep.
suit.
What a lot of people don't know is that the shield physics for Captain America and Winter Soldier, you know how the shields start bouncing off and doing all sorts of crazy stuff.
Mhm.
That actually was developed in the actual game first. And I actually played the Captain
Oh.
America game that came out after the movie, the
The
first
360
Avenger.
game, or it could have been a PS3 game as well.
PS3 game, yeah, it was both, and yeah, it had the shield physics in it, so it was like ding ding, like bouncing off stuff. You could bounce it off like 3 enemies or whatever, and they put that in the actual movie for Winter Soldier, and it did that going forward. So a lot of people don't know that.
I did not know that. That's cool. So, good pick. Yeah, basically, yeah, you took. I did come up with 2, and Just Cause with Michael Bay was one of my answers. But do either you guys have a game you'd like to see a movie of done well?
Well, mine for the longest time, as we were just talking about, was The Legend of Zelda. Kind of like what Lois said. Now I'm kind of like
I have no hope for the Zelda movie.
But one that I've always wanted to see as I was older was Mass Effect. I've wanted Mass Effect as a movie for so long, and to hear that Amazon owns the rights and they want to turn it into a television show, I'm like,
Well,
I don't know.
That's where like Mass Effect's my number 1 favorite video game franchise of all time. I would love that as well, but I don't think a movie could do Mass Effect justice. I think it would have to be a show.
See,
I
my
agree.
thought on something like Mass Effect or like a very, very story heavy game is I don't think you can make a great movie out of it because they already told the story so well in the game, which is why I think that's part of why video game movies are so difficult, is that it's hard to adapt it quite right.
It all depends on how much you embrace it. Like the Fallout TV series, I think did a really good job at having a fun Fallout lore kind of
I'd agree.
feel to it. But then,
I'm
like,
still very mad about Mr. House.
that we'll see what season 2 does. But
Yes.
the other part about this
Well-
whole thing is also look at what they did with the Yakuza series. It's that is like impossible to actually capture like the whole fun part about like what makes a Yakuza game like really fun and cool, because like you got to have like all that like wacky weird lore and all these like weird characters and all these sub stories, and that there's no way you can do that in a TV show, and there's no way in hell you could do that in a movie. Like I think in Mass Effect you could kind of get that done a lot better, because you can have more of a like streamlined story. You can have a lot of very, exposition heavy plot points talking about like the wars and stuff. It's a lot easier, and you can kind of like ignore some of the more like fun side quest stuff of it, because like a lot of it you can just kind of skip. Like versus like something like Yakuza, it's kind of built in the DNA to go and explore and do all that stuff in the world, and you can't really copy that in a setting. It would be impossible. Not even if you did like an anime of it, it would be still impossible to do.
I would agree that I think that a television show would make more sense now for Mass Effect, especially because the way you can obviously break up the games with the different major missions through each game. I'm kind of like it's Amazon, and so it's. I have faith that Amazon would have the money to do it right, but would they do it right is the problem. And
And that's the thing. I wouldn't say I'm an Amazon defender, but people are like, oh, it's Amazon, it's automatically going to suck. It depends on who's in charge, because
Well, they
Amazon,
said the same thing about Netflix too. It's Netflix, so it's gonna suck.
yeah,
no,
I'd say
depends on
Netflix
who's in
has a
charge of
worse track
Netflix.
record, because I couldn't name anything that Netflix has done that's actually been good, but I could name a few things from Amazon
Narcos.
that have been good.
Narcos has been great.
I didn't know that was Netflix, but I haven't seen it yet either.
Narcos is
Netflix
amazing.
also made Arrested Development season 4 and 5.
Were those good seasons?
Good enough.
Daredevil season 1 and 2, really, really good. Season 3,
Okay.
I like Jessica Jones season 1. I didn't hate Luke Cage. Iron Fist was terrible.
like John Bernthal as the Punisher it was great.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Punisher. Punisher was
The Punisher
great, too.
show Punisher show was not well received from what I understand. I have not seen the Punisher show, but I've heard it's not well received.
I thought
But
it
John
was good.
Bernthal as the Punisher is
Yeah.
incredible.
But also there
I
was
like
that
to do
weirdness
that,
with the Disney buying of Marvel, and they seem to want to kill off the Netflix shows really quick too. There's like
Yeah.
a lot of like inside the park baseball stuff,
Well, what a lot of people don't know is that when Daredevil was actually the show was launched, Disney had actually already owned it because they owned it back in 2015 when the Avengers came out. So the very first Avengers movie, Disney actually had acquired it right before the release of the movie. So that's why you still had the Paramount logo, but Disney actually was the one who actually, I believe, got the majority of the profits off of it. And then going forward, starting with Iron Man 3 was after that, was
Yes.
after the first
Yes,
Avengers.
Iron
That's
Man
when
3.
it was fully Disney control. But they actually did Daredevil season 1 and 2. A lot of people don't know that in conjunction with Netflix.
There's actually also some weird thing with, I think, Universal with the Hulk.
Yeah,
which
they
is
still own
why-
the movie
Yep.
rights.
Yep.
Yeah, Universal still has the movie rights to Hulk, which is why we've never seen a solo Hulk movie since the original, and we only ever see him in other characters' movies.
It's just
Are you
like
ta-
Sony owns the movie rights for Spider-Man and his universe.
You're
but
talking
they
about
could-
Ed
they
Norton
made a
and
deal.
Hulk, right?
Well,
Yeah,
that
Incredible
was the last
Hulk.
movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
the one
reason
that
the reason that they never made another solo Hulk movie is because Universal would have to be the distributor.
Yeah, because
Gotcha.
Universal still owns the film rights, like I just said, Neo.
Yep.
And same thing with Spider-Man with Sony Pictures.
Yeah, I just want
And-
to make sure we were talking about Ed Norton and not Eric Bana Hulk.
Yeah, no, it's
No.
the Edward Norton one, and Universal will never give those rights up. Just like Sony will never give up the rights for Spider-Man. It's never ever going to happen. There's not enough money on the planet.
Universal needs to do something.
It
Yeah,
would
with the
depend on how the
film.
contracts are set, because if they're not set for perpetuity, then there is a possibility that Disney may just be able to let them expire eventually and get
It's-
it back.
It's like when we got that crappy Fantastic Four movie. It was Fox trying to
And
control the
Force
rights.
Stick.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think as long as Universal continues to work with Disney, and actually have the Incredible Hulk on screen, even in other movies, I think it renews the license. I think it renews it every time. It's that deal like, okay, well, we'll let you use it in Thor Ragnarok, which I did like, We'll let you use them in Thor Ragnarok, but it also we get part of the profits and it renews the license because we're technically using it. We're using that license that we own.
I would have to look into how
Could
that
be.
would be structured, but that's probably something that
I actually don't
no one
think.
really talks
I
about
think
that.
those contracts are a secret anyway, so most
Oh,
likely
yeah.
we'll never know them.
Yeah,
We'll
I
never
doubt
know
it.
all the details of how it's how
Doubt
those
we'll
rights
know
are
any
set
of
up.
those things.
And to
So,
be perfectly honest, I have not seen a Marvel movie since Captain America: Civil War when I
Oh.
realized they were going to go down the modern comic route. So
I feel you on that one. I'm a huge MCU fan. But the thing is though, it's pertaining only to because only the Infinity Saga exists, and Spider-Man: No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine, and that's it.
oh, I did see Spider-Man: No Way Home, but I actually just fast forwarded it, so I just watched the parts of Tobey Maguire in it.
Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, chef's kiss.
I like
That made
Andrew Garfield.
it made the movie having those guys and their villains in it. Like no, Tom Holland was, yeah, he was in it and his story was good, but I mean, I think the other guys carried the movie.
Yeah.
So
Dude is saying Edward Norton better than Mark Ruffalo. I agree. I always liked
Yeah.
Edward Norton as Hulk.
I'm
Aaron
sad that he
Canadian's
was
here
never
as
able
well.
to carry on.
Yeah. So
I heard it was a conflict. There was a conflict of like he's doing another movie and then it won't.
Yeah.
But Angry Canadian is also here saying, so, what's up, Angry Canadian? I heard that Ed Norton was very difficult to work with because he wanted to have control of like the making of the movie. It's like you're not the director, you're the actor, and so he was difficult to work with. I heard that's why they switched actors.
I
That's
think
why they
that
replaced the Brody in the first Iron Man movie with they replaced
Terrence Howard
with,
for Don Cheadle. That was a
Don
contract
Cheadle.
thing because
He wanted more money.
So what it was, he wanted more money than Robert Downey Jr., but Robert Downey Jr. was the main character of the movie, so it's like
Idiot.
you
Yeah.
can't, you don't get to
Dumbest
make more
move
than the
ever.
main character. So
yeah. Well, it's
that
like
was
how
really
in
dumb.
recent years,
I liked
Kirsten
him better
Dunst
than
came
Don
out.
Cheadle too.
Yeah, it's like he was a little better, but it's like how in recent years Kirsten Dunst came out and complained that she got less money than Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man, even though she wasn't Spider-Man.
Or Jennifer Lawrence making less money than Chris Pratt in Passengers.
it's like
And yet-
it's Chris Pratt. He's in Guardians of the
It's
Galaxy.
like you make millions of dollars. I don't think anyone's gonna be sharing a tear for you.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just
I'm pretty sure.
stupid.
I think it's probably a safe bet that Jennifer Lawrence probably made a lot more money than the male characters in
In Hunger
that
Games.
one movie she did. Yeah,
Yeah, the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
I would put money on it. So, but dudes, I did not have this on my list, but dude says his choice for a movie would be Metroid, though he doesn't know who to cast or direct since he doesn't pay attention to Hollywood. I wouldn't be able to come up with a director off the top of my head. I have to do some homework. I would love to see a Metroid movie, and I have for a while. The perfect casting for Samus is Sydney Sweeney.
I can see it.
She'd be a
I
perfect
can see
Samus.
it. You know, the only problem about Sydney Sweeney that bothers me is her voice. I don't
I
like
don't
her
even know what
voice.
she sounds like.
Samus doesn't talk.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, I'm
And
just saying.
she's all covered up, so you could just put a man in that suit and it'd be just as fine.
I mean, we got to have a little zeros,
Yeah,
zero suit
there's gotta
Samus.
be
Come
work some
on.
Zero Suit Samus in there.
Actually, that
Yeah.
reminds me of a for some reason that makes me think of a second series I would love to see a movie of would be F-Zero, and I would love to see a little more focus on Captain Falcon's bounty hunting career.
I was thinking it could be like I guess really one of the only racing game movies I've seen was Rush, which had, oddly enough, Thor and Captain Zemo or Daniel Bruhl. Baron Zemo, thank you.
Yeah.
Because Daniel Bruhl and Chris Hemsworth were the leads in that movie. But it was a racing movie. And I thought you were going to be like a sci-fi racing movie. That could be pretty cool too.
I mean, I think you could do both because Captain Falcon is both a racer and a bounty hunter
At the same time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't really know much about
that's actually
Falcon outside of
they actually
Smash Bros.
referenced that in one of the Smash Bros games. There's one of the like challenges or whatever has you playing as Captain Falcon and Samus because they're both bounty hunters.
Oh, they're both bounty. Okay.
Yeah. I always kind of thought that would be kind of funny to put both of them in a movie together and have them be like bounty hunters together.
Okay, that'd be pretty cool. I'd be down for that. Oh, dude,
it wouldn't make any sense because they're totally different universes, but which is kind of entertaining.
Yeah, dude says.
And I mean, who wouldn't want to see like a big buff dude and a hot blonde
Yeah.
just bounty hunting.
So, dude says Sydney Sweeney is not tall enough. Well, that's what the magic of the Hollywood can fix. So,
I mean, nobody's tall enough to play Doom Guy, but they keep trying to make movies out of that.
And Dude and Angry Canadian are saying that there is an F-Zero anime that makes the Falcon Punch canon.
I've heard of that, but it has a terrible. I've heard it. From what I know of it, it just has like a terrible ending. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So, Carl, what about you? Did you have a movie that you would like to see?
Yeah, let's get Taika Waititi to direct a Katamari Damacy movie. There you go.
Okay.
I can't tell if Taika Waititi is serious or a meme casting or a meme choice.
Well, I think it fits well. I don't know much about that franchise, but I think the fact of Taika Waititi kind of being a meme fits well with that franchise.
Have you ever seen Jojo Rabbit?
I have not.
It's
Well, that's the Hitler one, right?
Yeah, that is the Hitler one, and it's actually pretty funny and pretty interesting at the same time because it is basically told from like a little boy who grows up in the Hitler Youth, and he knows nothing about Hitler at all. So he has like this imaginary version of Hitler in his mind and everything else like that.
Okay, that sounds pretty funny.
Yeah, and it's very, very sad at the end. That's for sure. But yeah, I figured, when you look at like Thor Ragnarok and then you see his other stuff, like I just look at Katamari Damacy, which is the whole point is like the king of the cosmos just blows up all the stars randomly for no reason. And you have to play as the little prince to create new stars. And like, I feel like if you're going to make like a crazy over the top movie like that, which I think Taika Waititi knows how to do well from the movies I've seen, I think he could do a good job with that. And like, I don't really think you need to actually cast too many people to do any like crazy acting part because it's probably going to be mostly like 3D and mocap and stuff like that. So yeah, I think if you want to go with something that's like an absurd concept of a game, I feel like get down, dog. Taika Waititi could do some really funny stuff with the King of the Cosmos. It's about finding like those over the top actors to probably fit in. So maybe I feel like there's one actor people know him for his more serious roles, but I feel like he would be probably pretty good as the King of the Cosmos only because he was really good in The Princess and the Frog, and that is Keith David.
Oh, I love Keith David.
Yeah.
Oh, he was great in Saints Row 4.
He's great in a lot of things.
I love him in everything I've ever seen. Both video games and movies.
Yeah, so that's pretty much why I just be like, yeah, Keith David as King of the Cosmos. I feel like he could do a pretty over the top job because he can.
That's great.
I feel like Keith David like is really great seriously, but when he like just gets a chance to just go like insane and be like crazy, I feel like he really knows how to do it. My favorite clip is like when it's that one famous one where he's like, "Welcome to hell, mother trucker." And it's just every car just engulfs in flames around. I was like, yeah, I could see that just being good there.
Okay, I like it. So.
Oh, I forgot to say for F-Zero, my casting.
Oh, okay.
For Captain Falcon I would have to say Carl Urban.
Okay.
After seeing his performance in Dread, I think he would do a fantastic job. And then for the director, I think I would once again have to go with Michael Bay, potentially Justin Lin. I think is the guy who directed some of the recent Fast and Furious.
Yes.
Yeah. So one of those two, I think, would be good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down for that. So, and dude says he liked Taika Waititi in Free Guy. Yeah, he was like the douchebag boss, if I remember correctly. That was a good movie. We talked about that one for a good length on top 5 video game movies.
I do have one other thing.
All right.
I don't think this would be a good movie, but I would love to see a Republic Commando TV show. And I wish they could get the director of Band of Brothers to oversee all that stuff.
Okay. Make it a more
Republic
serious,
Commando,
gritty
Star Wars thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, make it a more serious, gritty thing.
I love Band of Brothers. It's my favorite TV show that I actually watch every year.
I've never seen it, but I've heard it's fantastic.
It's great. I even watched it coming back on the airplane from Florida because they had it
as part of the in-flight package to watch. So I was just watching all those channels. It's such a great TV show, and I still think it is probably one of the best portrayals, and especially of not only like World War II and everything else like that, but it's also one of the best, like, if you want to like read the book and then watch the TV show, it pretty much is the book in TV show form.
Okay, that would be cool. So, all right. Well, since we had a lot of crossover on with Just Cause, the other one that I came up with was, and this doesn't necessarily even have to be tied to the franchise, but I would love to see an Assassin's Creed movie. Obviously,
We got one of those.
Obviously, there already is one, but we're pretending
I
that
don't
one
think-
doesn't exist.
Yeah, that doesn't count. I don't know what the hell that thing was.
So, and what I say, it doesn't even have to be tied to the Assassin's Creed IP, is because leave out the Animus, leave out modern day, have everything take place in, and when I say Assassin's Creed, I mean Assassin's Creed 2 with Ezio being the main character. I would love to see like a revenge tale in, the Renaissance Italy after, it doesn't necessarily even have to be Assassin's Creed. You don't even have to use the same name, but it could, where, someone's entire family gets killed in front of them, and then they swear like an oath, I'm going to get back, and, just them training and making connections and stuff and getting their revenge on the people that killed his family. So basically, that's basically the intro to Assassin's Creed 2. So if you wanted to have Animus in it, you could, but I would say just leave that all out and just have everything take place in Renaissance Italy. I would love to watch that movie. That could be great. So for casting, for a young Ezio, I thought Aaron Taylor Johnson could be a great young Ezio.
Is he still young?
He's about, I would say he's probably about my age, in his 30s, so young-ish.
Okay.
He's not, he's not like an older guy, so you could shift the timeline a little bit, so he's not necessarily like in his early 20s when this happens. He could be, a little bit, a little bit older before he goes into
Neil,
his
you already
more
said
revenge.
the kiss of death. You're going to make everyone mad. You could shift the timeline. There you go. You already pissed off everyone.
Well, that's why I said it doesn't even necessarily have to be tied to the franchise. It could just be kind of the Assassin's Creed story being the inspiration. But you could make him a little bit older, because my guess from the obviously the first scene in Assassin's Creed 2 is he's being born. We're gonna not that early in his life, but
why not? That's crucial details there.
My guess, in Assassin's Creed 2, when his family gets killed, he's probably in his early 20s, would be my guess. If it happened maybe in his later 20s, I think Aaron Taylor Johnson is still young enough to pull off, 20s. But I've liked, the first thing I think I ever saw him in was Kick-Ass, and he was kind of like a joke character. But I've really liked him. I saw Bullet Train not that long ago, and I loved him in Bullet Train. Everything that I've seen him in lately is I've really liked him. So I thought he could be a good younger Ezio. If you were going to go, because how you would structure it, I don't know if it would probably just cover Assassin's Creed 2, but if you were going to make it like a series of movies and cover like Brotherhood and Revelations as he's older, I thought if you were going to go like old Ezio, Keanu Reeves could be awesome for that role. He's right about the right age as well. And then for the director, Chad Stahelski, who directed most of the John Wick movies.
Wait,
would be great.
isn't Keanu Reeves like almost 60?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ezio's like in Brotherhood. I remember he's like 40-ish, I think.
Yeah, well, in Revelations, he's...
Well, yeah, but in
older.
Revelations, he's like elderly.
So...
He's geriatric.
I want Sylvester Stallone as Leonardo da Vinci. That's my compromise.
Hey,
yo,
he's not
Ezio.
geriatric. I mean, you play as him in Revelations. He's not geriatric. He can still get around. But I thought if you were going to cover that, his older years, I thought Keanu Reeves would be a great casting for Ezio in his older years.
Yeah, that might work for an older Ezio.
So while I was doing homework for this, I was looking at Chad Stahelski's stuff, and he's already in the works on pre-production, so it's very early, but he's already working on 3 video game movies currently, and he's currently working on a Rainbow Six movie, And I've liked the little bit I've seen of him. The John Wick movies have been pretty great. So in his hands, I think these movies could be great. Rainbow Six, Sifu, which that's like right up his alley. That movie is probably going to be awesome. And he's also working on a Ghost of Tsushima movie. So
Yeah, that could work.
And
wait to
he
see the
himself
sequel to
was a
that.
stunt double, and he was actually did some stunt work in a lot of movies as well. So, yeah. So that was my other answer for a movie that I would like to see. So, let's see here. RC show. Oh, Angry Canadians agreeing that a Republic Commando show would be sick. Yep. JT Epsilon's here saying the movie was better than the Ezio trilogy. Oh, get out of here! That movie.
First of all, how dare you?
That movie.
How dare you?
It doesn't deserve to be called Assassin's Creed. But dude says he didn't hate the Assassin's Creed movie. Man, what did I come into? Says JT Epsilon. What's up, JT Epsilon? And Snap Rise here as well, who I will be meeting in a couple weeks in Vegas as well. What's up, Snap? How's it going? Doing well. We were currently just talking about video games we would like to see movies of done well and who would we cast. So.
I have to ask, like, what does Snap Rai mean? Like, is like what's your first name? The reason I ask is because
I don't know. You don't have to answer that, Snap. You're welcome to keep.
I've had girls who are interested in dating me before call me Rai, and I'm like, okay.
Well,
just saying.
Before he changed it, it was Rye, Rye, like Rye the
Okay.
Red. So
okay.
But he just
wondered.
shortened it from Snapple Rye to
I was
Snap
just
Rye
wondering because, like I said, I've had girls that were interested in me before that have called me Rai, and I'm like, is that a thing? I'm like, I guess it's the thing. It's a term of endearment, but so
Rai is a thing. It's not like that uncommon.
Oh, I'm just saying. I guess I was just wondering because I've seen it before, and I'm just like, I have to ask.
Your name is Ryan, and you said like, yeah, women have called me Rai before, and you're like, does this confuse me still?
No, it doesn't confuse me. It's just I wanted to know what it meant to him. Like I know what it means to me.
I don't know. It could be a racial slur for all we know.
God damn it, Carl! Why you around the stream?
Hey, Snap answered. Snap Rai was an old band nickname. So there you go.
All right, cool. Appreciate
that was his
it.
rock
Carl,
band nickname. There you go.
Carl, I guess the equivalent for you would be Kaka.
No, my name's Adam.
Short and like Ryan to Rai.
Carl's just
Carl
like
Kaka.
Carl was like a meme that just started and stuck. My real name's Adam, and I just tell people that.
So
Okay.
Canadian saying, careful, you talk too much about EU Star Wars and you summon zealots. He says non-canon EU. That's an oxymoron. EU was canon. Still
was.
is.
Once
still
lost,
the
but
real
now
canon.
still found.
It's like, oh, I was a smoker. Oh, you quit smoking? No, I still smoke, but I was a smoker. It's like, no, it still is. So, all right. So, next.
Can I make a joke here? I love when people like get upset about the Star Wars stuff 10 years later now. I'm like, this is like the lost causer argument going on again all over.
Yeah, you got Carl here, who's a Disney defender.
I'm not a Disney defender. I'm just like, man.
He's a
Comes across that
contrarian.
way.
He's a contrarian. I've seen what he's been doing on Twitter lately. I get it. I get where he's coming from.
I'm a guy that be like, just believe in your arguments, people. Don't drop them at the drop of a hat.
I caught so much crap because I went against Mahler, who said that like he hated the Fallout show, and he's like, I'm this big Fallout fan. I know all the Fallout lore, and then he would say things on streams. He would say things on streams, and I'm like, that's not correct. You don't know the Fallout lore if you don't know that that's not true. And so I'm like, you're either grifting and you're full of shit, or because I'm like, it can't be both directions here. I know Fallout lore like the back of my hand, and some of the things he was saying, I was like, no, because he was like had an issue with some of the campiness. I'm like, Fallout's campy. Fallout has always been campy from day one.
Yes.
So anyway, I'm not going to get started on it, but like, no, dude, I got blasted. Like, because I was like saying stuff against his arguments, and like, dude, all of a sudden, whoosh. And I'm like, are we not allowed to have separate opinions here? Like, are we? I thought this is what kind of like what we were doing with his YouTube thing. It was like we were trying to have like differences of opinions, and it's okay, but no, I go, whoa. Anyway,
yeah. So Canadian says, "Don't make me get Bliss in here." Yeah, Bliss and Carl, and I will fight you guys because you guys are wrong, and I have the facts to prove it. But we're not getting into that tonight.
There's nothing wrong though. It's just like, yeah, I know Disney Star Wars is trash. It's fine.
All right, so next topic on the agenda, I moved it a little out of order here. So let's go with the follow-up to a previous topic we've had twice. So we've talked about our favorite first game in a franchise, our favorite second game in a franchise, our favorite time. Let's talk about our favorite third game in the franchise. I have a lot of answers because if you were to say, I was like, you could also make this into a separate question, but it's basically the same thing. Like if you could, like we did a topic, if you could only play games from a single letter in the alphabet, what would it be? If you could only play games with a certain number in the title, what would it be? And for me, it would easily be 3 because there are so many franchises where the third one is my favorite. So, but I'll let you guys go first. Ryan, what about you? What's your favorite game? That is where the third game in the franchise is your favorite in that franchise.
Where it's your favorite in the or like it's
Number
your favorite.
3. Yes.
It's your favorite third game of a franchise.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be your favorite game in the franchise, right? All at the same time.
I guess I worded that a little wrong. I did mean it like that, because like on the first one, my answer, I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look at what my answer was, but like I love Halo 1, but it's not my favorite in the franchise, so I did not pick Halo for my favorite first game in a franchise.
Okay. Because
I may not have made that clear, so I apologize.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem because I don't think anything of a third game is my favorite because obviously the Old Republic is supposed to be a third game, but it's not my favorite by any stretch of the imagination. You have Fallout 3, which is not my favorite in the franchise. That'd be Fallout New Vegas, but Fallout 3 is my favorite Bethesda. So I mean, this really
you're overthinking it, Ryan.
Yeah, I don't. You have to come back to me, or maybe not at all. I don't.
That's
okay,
right.
actually, you know what? Dude just helped. Dude just helped. I do like Doom 3. I know that's controversial, but I like Doom 3 more than the previous 2.
Okay,
and I actually like it the most out of all of them because I think it was the scariest one.
Perfect. That's a perfect
Shit
answer.
freaked me out, man. Like, got that in the military, turn the lights off. That's when I first started playing scary games in the dark. Well, not the first time, but I got that from playing like Silent Hill 2 in the dark with, but no, Doom 3.
All right. Excellent answer. So yeah, dude,
just
saying
describe
Doom
why
3.
I don't like Doom 3.
Yeah, same here. But dude, I know dude's a defender of Doom 3. He loves it. And he says God of War 3 and Halo 3. So Canadians like, none of you can count to 3. This question is ableist. What about you, Nightmare? Do you have a game where the third one is your favorite in the franchise? Or if not, then what is your favorite number 3 in the franchise?
You kind of spun things around a little bit on
that was my bad. I did not word that correctly.
I think my first couple answers are still the same. I'll give you one guess. Take a look at my avatar. Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight. Okay.
Yeah, which I know Origins is also in there, but it's a prequel, so I don't count it.
Yeah,
Arkham
that's
Knight.
kind of a great area because that was the third one to come out, but it's not even technically in that.
It's not in the main. Yeah, it's not a main release. It's a prequel, so it's like Fallout New Vegas kind of. But yeah, so I would say Arkham Knight there, just because I love that. Like I love the whole series, but Arkham Knight is just something special, and it's such a great ending to the series. I love what they did with it in so many ways. The gameplay is just fantastic. The combat feels so good in that game. I love the Batmobile. Some people hate the Batmobile. I love the Batmobile. It's so great. One of Kevin Conroy's last major performances.
Yep.
And Mark Hamill as well.
I know a lot of people didn't like the fact that they incorporated Joker into it, given what happened to him at the end of the second game, but I loved the incorporation of Joker in Arkham Knight.
I was glad they did, because in spite of what people wanted, I wanted them to bring Joker in somehow. Because, I mean, that's a big theme of Arkham, is that relationship between Batman and Joker. So, an Arkham game, especially the finale without the Joker, would have felt like an apple pie without a crust, So, yeah, it was, I just love that game a lot. So it's definitely one of my very favorite games of the franchise. I also think that is my favorite Harley Quinn look out of the series.
Okay.
I know a lot of people like the Arkham City look, but I think she looks better in Night.
I'd have to look up the difference between the two.
Yeah, it's kind of a blend of the first two games, I would say. But yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of things to like about that game. Second answer might be, I might go with Spider-Man. Well, actually, I think two is a better game. The PS2, GameCube, Xbox version, Spider-Man 2. But I will say Spider-Man 3 should get an honorable mention because it is still a great game. The PS3, Xbox 360, PC version of that. But even I don't know that I'd put much into like the PS2 and Wii version, but the PSP version of Spider-Man 3, I think deserves a lot of credit because that is what they did was they took kind of a cut down version of the PS2 game and put it on PSP. And it deserves a lot of credit because it was the very first open world Spider-Man game on like a handheld platform. And I know all the kids out there with their Switches and Steam Decks today, they're not going to think that's a big deal, but back then, handhelds had like so little power. So the fact that they were able to fit an entire open world Spider-Man game on PSP, just absolutely impressive.
Okay.
And then one more answer, and this might be kind of a stereotypical answer: Metal Gear Solid 3. But only because it's Metal Gear Solid 3. It's not my favorite Metal Gear game, just my favorite Metal Gear Solid game.
Okay.
Because my favorite Metal Gear game is Metal Gear Rising. That is the best.
Yeah, that's the only Metal Gear game I played.
Yeah. I'm sure there are plenty of other answers too. If somebody named the franchise, I'd probably think of it. But yeah, there's the ones I had off the top of my head.
Okay. Good stuff. Carl, what about you? What's your favorite or the third of or do you have one where the third game is your favorite in the franchise? And if not, then what is your favorite number 3 game? It doesn't even have to have the number 3, it just has to be the third game. Like as Dude is mentioning,
I
Metroid
understand.
is the third
Yeah,
Metroid game, and Link to the Past is the third Zelda game. So
I didn't get confused by your comment. I know, but mine are pretty easy though because I have a long-standing love for Halo 3. I say it's still probably one of the only examples of a perfect video game of all time. So that one's like a slam dunk easy one. Obviously, Persona 3. It's my favorite JRPG of all time. Every Persona 3, yes, is the answer, except for maybe the original because it has auto attack. But Persona 3 is, still my favorite JRPG.
The first two Personas, Carl?
I've played the first one. It's not really a Persona game. It's a Shin Megami Tensei game.
Yeah.
And it's just very heavily fighting based, and there's not really a story. I got bored with it. But Persona 2, I'm trying to do right now. Those are just very hard to get access to because you can really only get them on the Vita for a cheap, decent price right now.
Okay, because I have 3, 4, and 5 on Steam, but I've only played 4 and 5. I have never played 1 or 2, and I didn't even realize you could play 1 in English.
Yes, Persona 1 was part of the emulation package for the original. I mean, when Sony did that PlayStation 1 Classic, that was one of the games on it.
Wow.
And Persona 2, it's actually a twofer. So it's like there's Persona Innocent Punishment and Original Sin. So it's actually the only Persona game that has like an actual direct sequel to the thing. And one of them is a prequel, I think, that came out after the sequel. It's kind of weird, but Persona 2 is the only one that's split up in 2 parts. And it's actually a lot easier because you get auto heal after all your battles. So you can basically go into a battle and not worry too much about like getting grinded down, comparatively speaking, to like basically Persona 1 and 2 kind of are like more in line of like Fallout 1 and 2, where they're just drastically different games. So once you get to like the later Fallouts with Bethesda, they change it up a lot. And that's what Persona 3, 4, and 5 are. They're just drastically changed a lot from the first 2 ones.
I assume they're still turn-based, though.
They are turn-based, yeah,
Okay.
but like they're just very different.
Do they have much of like the social aspect?
No.
Gotcha.
No, not at all.
See, that's what I like that's why I was able to get through Persona, is because I do not enjoy the turn-based battles at all, but I love the social aspect. I love seeing what it's like to have friends.
Yeah, the Persona 3, 4, and 5 games, I like Persona 3, like I said, is my favorite because it just speaks to me the most.
I think it has like the best story, especially when we're talking about concepts of life and death and accepting, eventually things change and we all die and everything else like that. I could go on for a long time about that. I'm actually trying to hit up Smooth to sit down and talk about the Persona series in a retrospective.
Nice. Shout out to Smooth. Smooth's a great dude.
He is a great dude. So I don't really want to gush too much, but like I said, Persona 3 is my favorite Persona. It's my favorite JRPG of all time. There's other JRPGs that I love, close to it, but they're not number 3s in the series. So that's why it's
just really quick. I'm curious, what do you think of the remake on Steam?
I love it.
You do? Okay, that's good. That's good endorsement.
I love all the Persona 3s. You can't really go wrong with anyone. The FES version, the PSP version, and the Reloaded. Reloaded is great. If you love Persona 5, it plays just like, Persona 3, but with the Persona 5 combat, which I think is the best in the series.
Reloaded is the remake. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the PSP version, Persona 3 Portable lets you play as the female protagonist, which a lot of people were disappointed that we didn't get. But that one plays more like a visual novel with like very sparse JRPG elements because that was the sacrifice. Also has a Catherine Easter egg in that one as well.
Okay.
Oh, does Reloaded not have the female protagonist?
No.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. At least they released the FES content as DLC.
Yeah, the FES content is all right. I never really liked the FES content too much, but yeah, Persona 3 is my favorite JRPG, so that's the easy one.
All right.
A couple more honorable mentions.
Go for it.
Ratchet and Clank, Up Your Arsenal. I think that's my favorite number 3 too for that. And Soul Calibur 3 still is my favorite in the series.
All right. I was just looking up Soul Calibur just within the last day or two. It was because of your Hidden Gems game. I had to look up Soul Calibur for.
Which one was that?
And
K, right?
Let's see here where to go.
Yeah, she talked about that PSP copy of Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur Broken Destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually available now on PlayStation 4 and 5.
Yeah, and I didn't know it until I was like trying to search for it. I'm like, why am I not finding it? It's because I was spelling caliber wrong. It's not the same spelling as you would like a caliber of a gun.
Yeah,
and it's Soul Calibur is all one word. There's no space. I did not know that. But yeah, okay. Any other number 3s that are your favorite?
My favorite one to hate on is Dino Crisis 3. There you go. And Fable 3. So there you go. You got 2 3s I hate.
I don't know what this Dino Crisis 3 is you're talking about. I've never heard of that. I don't think it exists. So let's just keep it on Real Games.
Nah. We're gonna do this. We're gonna force Mr. Angry Canadian to beat Dino Crisis 2.
He just beat Dino Crisis 1 for the first time.
Yeah.
See, sorry. Go ahead.
No. We're gonna give him the real fan experience. All right. I'm gonna send him my copy, and he's gonna suffer like all of us do. So there you go.
That's another reason I want to get an emulator because I want to play Dino Crisis 1 and Dino Crisis 2 again.
They're on GOG.
And 3.
And oh, they're on what?
Yeah, 1 and 2 are on GOG. That's how we're playing it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're only $20 too.
Oh, sir.
For both.
Yeah, they just got put on GOG recently.
Are these the remastered ones? Isn't there like remastered ones that just came out or something?
They're not the ones on the PlayStation, which are basically emulator version. They're native PC ports. Yeah.
Okay, because I thought I thought there was like a remastered version that just came out on the PlayStation 5 and it's clunky as shit.
Because it's an emulation version. It's using PlayStation emulation.
Okay. Well, I'm looking it up now. Thank you to all of you, and including Angry Canadian, because he said GOG, Ryan.
Yep.
Again, I don't understand this 3 though. There's no Dino Crisis 3. I don't understand what you're saying.
That it doesn't make sense why it's number 3, but we have to do it.
So. Speaking of RetroArch earlier and retro achievements, Dino Crisis 1 and 2 both have achievement sets for retro achievements. Wink, wink. So, let's see here. So, dude was saying that Warriors Orochi 3 is the best Warriors game. All right. And Angry Canadian is saying that Neo's favorite third game is Payday 3. I've never played any of the Payday games, but I'm assuming he's saying that sarcastically, and Payday 3 is not a good game.
Payday 3 is the worst one. 2 was really good. And then 3, for some reason, they just totally dropped the ball on 3.
Tanked. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It happens. Sometimes it happens. It's hard to duplicate success.
But Canadian shots fired at Carl says, Carl shockingly can comprehend Neo's antics.
Dude,
I comprehend everyone's antics. It just doesn't mean I understand it.
You-
I comprehend. I don't get it. There's a difference.
you can
You'll
get
have to
the
explain
bundle.
that to me.
Sorry, you can get the bundle for $17.
Yeah.
What the freak, man? I wish I had known this sooner.
Just
Well,
buy
look
it
at
now.
that.
What are you doing, coward?
It brightened your day. So-
Why the name calling, sir? Why am I a coward? What the fuck?
Because you're not buying it now. Do it.
I just looked at it right now.
Just buy it right now. You're on the computer.
What's taking
Buy it.
so long?
Click that button.
Look, you know what? I'm feeling awfully pressured right now, and my mommy told me that if I'm being peer pressured, that I need to go home and I need to call her.
You're already home. Good. Do it.
You're already
Dude is saying, too bad Soul Calibur 3 has a terrible save corruption glitch. That sucks.
Yeah.
So, all right. As for me, to no surprise, my favorite number 3 is also my favorite game of all time, Mass Effect 3. But I have a bunch of other games where the third one in the franchise is my favorite. So I'll just burn through these really quick. Donkey Kong Country 3 is my favorite Donkey Kong Country. Project Gotham Racing 3 is my favorite Project Gotham game. Both Rock Band 3 and Guitar Hero 3 are my favorite in each of their respective franchises. Mega Man Battle Network 3, as in the Mega Man Battle Network series of games, as is Mega Man X3 is my favorite Mega Man X game and is my number one favorite Mega Man game. Halo 3 is my favorite Halo game, and as we mentioned earlier, Just Cause 3 is my favorite Just Cause game. So I have a lot of favorite number 3s.
I can't believe I forgot that one.
Just Cause 3?
Yeah, that's my favorite Just Cause game. I should have said that.
So it's okay. You can take my answer as well.
Yeah. By the way, I'm curious. I thought about Mass Effect. My favorite Mass Effect is actually 2.
Same.
As
So I'm
is
curious
most
why
people.
3 is your favorite.
Yeah, it's an incredible game. I also like the fact that I like the way that the combat style did change a little bit, and I think it was for the better. So
2.
Yeah,
I was.
I
I
did
mean,
too,
I was also
yeah.
very glad they got rid of the Mako.
Oh,
That's the best
oh.
part of one. You be quiet, sir.
no, that thing was I didn't really care for the what was the Hammerhead.
the
too?
Hammerhead's way better
Yeah.
than the Mako.
It
It's
is
better,
better,
but
but
it's
it's,
like-
weaker.
It's a piece of
cannot
paper.
take
Yeah.
near as much punishment.
Now,
I didn't
I-
really
I-
enjoy the Hammerhead that much, but at least it was a little more enjoyable to like look around when you drive it. That was one of the
Yeah.
biggest complaints I had with the Mako was just. I know some
Mako.
people say Mako. Sometimes
It's
if
Mako.
Final
It's named
Fantasy
after
says
the Mako
Mako.
shark.
Yeah, but then Final Fantasy calls it Mako.
But that's
It's all
Final
confusing.
Fantasy.
Yeah, that's because
And they're wrong
Asian.
because they're
they
Japanese.
pronounce it weird. That's why.
Well, there was the actor who voiced Aku in Samurai Jack was named Mako. Anyway,
Well,
Well, he's
but
also
that's his
dead.
name.
So there you go.
yeah, that was his name. But one of the really besides the awful controls, what I really hated about the Mako was just how bleak and depressing everything looked when you drove around most of the time. It's just like you look
I know, it's
around,
great.
great dirt. There's nothing here.
yeah,
It's-
the
it's
Mako wasn't great. I like, but you have to use it a lot. in Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2,
Yeah.
you don't have to use the Hammerhead
Yeah.
barely at all. They're very
Exactly.
short segments, and it
I
moves around a
was-
lot better.
I will say this: I did not care for the mining.
No.
Oh, and that's probably one of the biggest issues with Mass Effect 2 is all the mining, and fortunately they toned that down drastically in 3. Basically,
Yeah.
just launch
Yeah.
a few probes here and there.
Yeah,
But
no,
to
'cause-
answer your question, Nightmare, one of the things that I liked about it is that like Mass Effect 1 is like super heavy on the RPG elements and not so much the third person shooting. And then Mass Effect 2 kind of took the complete opposite and went super heavy in the third person shooting and went very light on the RPG elements. I think Mass Effect 3 is like the perfect blend of the two. And in Mass Effect 2, the variety of weapons, there's not that many weapons in each category, whereas Mass Effect 3, like each of the 5 categories of weapons has like a ton of guns. So you can really build like your character really how you want with certain guns that match your powers really well. And except for obviously no, I'm not making any apologies for the Mass Effect 3 ending. That was bad, but I think everything else in the game up to the ending was great.
There is
And
a really great mod to fix the Mass Effect 3 ending. I highly
Are-
recommend it.
A mod, not the official
Right.
fix from BioWare.
Yeah, this is after all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I absolutely love the multiplayer they added. I play it all the freaking time. I just played it yesterday.
Yeah, that was popular.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really was.
And seeing
I will-
all of your
yeah.
choices from the past 2 games not the
come
ending,
together.
but stuff, choices that you made in Mass Effect 1 and 2, you see some of those play out during the course of Mass Effect 3. I love that as well.
Yeah, that is nice. And I also appreciated the helmet off in conversations option. That really should have been there in 2.
Yes,
That
is
really
another
should have been
great
there
one.
in 2. That is probably my biggest gripe with 2 personally, is that you don't have that option. Also, I will say that 2 has a lot of Miranda in it. 3 does not.
Yeah,
So,
I would
See,
definitely give you
that's
that. She's my number one Mass Effect waifu.
see,
Yes.
that's not a problem for me
Same.
because I was Ashley. Well, no, I did romance Miranda in the second one because you got to shake it up, right? But as soon as Ashley was back in the third one, I was like, well, this just makes sense because it started with her. So
Miranda's
that's
so boring.
Miranda's not boring, but I just think
Boring.
Ashley, she has a better story arc. And I've actually seen one of my favorite I've seen a couple streamers play it. Their chat seems to lean a little more one direction, like, oh my god, Ashley's so racist. And I'm like, but by the end of it, she actually has probably one of the best story arcs. Like, you understand that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can ask Neo
Idiots.
about my defense for Ashley, how everyone even gets her wrong, even with some people who like her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Carl can go tism about everyone getting Ashley.
Everyone
Oh,
does.
She's
Everyone
my
does.
she's my
Canadians like,
absolute
oh boy,
favorite.
here we go again.
She's my absolute favorite. So I thought they were gonna kill her in the third one when she got injured, and I thought, you've got to be. I was like, don't you do it? And then they didn't do it. So I was like, okay, cool.
I'm
Well,
still
also,
sticking with
who-
Miranda either way.
Who
That's
keeps-
fine. Everybody's got their own choice.
Yeah.
I picked Tally because I'm cool.
Oh my god, I was just gonna say the people who pick Tally are weird.
Does it shock you?
Maybe I kind of get it, but I kind of like her ending up with Garrus. So
I don't
Yeah.
get it because like every time you're just chill, she could die. Like, I don't get it.
yeah,
I know, that's real love right there.
Yep.
It's real something.
It's real love. It's like she could die just for kissing you. That's how she's willing to go.
I mean,
That's
I
ride or
get it.
die.
Yeah, but she also has like her. I guess I'm a 5-finger, 10-finger kind of girl.
Listen, Kirk didn't care which hole he stuck it in. All right,
I know he didn't care, but it
he
doesn't. mean
didn't
that it was
care.
a
So
whole-
though you're in space, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go with like the woman with orangutan boobies in the Mass Effect 1 game named Ashley Williams, or the spoiled rich girl with daddy issues in number 2.
hey,
We're really breaking
don't
the
be so
mold
quick
here,
to
guys.
dismiss spoiled rich girls with daddy issues. Okay, I've been trying to get one of those for a long time.
Yeah,
know.
she does. She's a spoiled rich girl with daddy issues.
Listen, the real reason I couldn't do it is I have a cousin
And
named
she's
Miranda,
genetically
and that's
perfect.
just weird. After a certain point in time.
I just
I
rewatched
guess
the
we
episode
see
of
that.
Party Chat when we did Mary Bang Kill on our 3 gaming waifus, and Mo Zamboni was on that one, and he had a very similar thing because he has his sister-in-law looks like very similar to Miranda, so that was kind of funny.
Yeah, you can't do that. It's like you don't date a girl that has your sister's name. It just doesn't work out.
Well, was Miranda the one that he decided to marry?
Oh, Mo?
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
No,
So it's like he hasn't actually played Mass Effect yet, so we keep trying to bully him.
well,
He says
you
he's
said it-
going to, and that was like 10 months ago, that stream, and he still has not started Mass Effect. So I constantly try to bully him in saying, "When are you starting Mass Effect?"
I kind of get it when you feel a little nervous about getting into like a big franchise, because then it's like, oh, I got to read up or like I got to learn so much about this game and the lore and everything. So
And
I
would-
kind of get.
I'd say each game is probably minimum 34 hours minimum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I would say that's kind of like an average playthrough, where maybe you're not doing everything, but you're doing a good chunk of it. Yeah, I think like 100% playthrough on Mass Effect 1 is probably at least 100 because you got to do 3 playthroughs to get all the achievements.
And you gotta unlock all the difficulties too.
Yeah, that too.
So you actually have to do stuff.
I'm not as psycho as Neo, so I do an average achiever or
if
over
you're
above
just
achiever a little bit playthrough.
Yeah.
playing through the game and doing most of the stuff, you're just going, trying to complete the story. I'd say 30 is a pretty good estimate on the time frame on Mass Effect 1.
The OG Mass Effect is also the easiest one to get once you get the 2 heat skins and you just hold down the trigger and everything melts away in front of you.
They're heat sinks, but yes.
I despised the hacking and the lock picking in that first game. Like I would mostly just bypass it because
Simon Says.
Yeah, I can't
I
stand
forgot that even
crap.
existed in the game.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I played it.
I
Omni
cannot
gel, that's all you use. It's just the
stand
Omni
that.
gel. It's just
Yeah, that's
cool.
what I would
Yeah, I'm
use
with you there.
because you
You
would
don't
have
use
to
zombie
time it
gel for
just
anything
right.
else. So
Exactly.
So it drove me nuts. I was just like, I'm gonna pull my face off because I kept trying to like, and I'm like, I'm hitting the right buttons, but it's not doing it in the rhythm that it wants you to. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mass Effect, the rhythm game.
yeah,
Great.
ugh,
That's how you know a game's
Yeah.
great. It's got variety.
So
it's got a variety of ass.
all right. So all right. Second to last question here. Next topic is I don't have anything written down for where this came from, so I think I just thought of it off the top of my head. But
Yeah.
I think it was because I was thinking about what's that anime? It's one of the few animes I've seen. I might have been talking about it with Nightmare. Sword Art Online. So in the premise of Sword Art Online
Oh, this one. Now I remember. Yeah.
is people go into this VR game, but once they get in, like this terrorist or whatever like takes over the game, and if tells everyone like if you try to unplug them, they'll die in real life. If they die in the game, they'll die in real life. So that spawned this question. So you're playing a game, and if your character dies in the game, you die in real life. Which game do you have the best chance of surviving? Which one can you beat? Essentially without dying. It has to be a game where your character can actually die. So I was like, that'd be a great topic for party chat. So
I mean, die where you can't be like revived or like or like respawn. Because I mean, every game you can die, but you like respawn some way.
no, like look, good question though. I didn't think about that. So if you like go down, but like your teammate can revive you, then that would not count as dying unless your teammate didn't revive you in time and you bled out. Then that would kill you in real life.
So it's essentially one that you mostly play by yourself. So if you die, then you just have to like go to respawn point, or you have to backtrack.
Like if your character died and went to like your last save point or a save station or something like that, then when your character died, you would die in real life. But if you if the game has some sort of mechanic where you go down and when your teammates can revive you, then that would not count as dying in real life.
What if you play the game solo and you don't have any teammates?
Am I the main character or am I like an NPC?
No, you'd be the main character. So like some games, like even if you're playing with like your squad mates are NPCs, but they can still revive you. Like the Rainbow Six games, for example, you've got squad mates and you can go down, but your teammates can still revive you. So that would not count. But if your teammates didn't revive you in time, or they all got downed and you're all down at the same time and you have to reload your checkpoint, then that would count as dying.
Okay. I'll say two answers. Okay. But one just to play devil's advocate because it probably won't work. But like given my level in the game, I would say I'd have the best chance of surviving. But I'll pick another one just in Do you want me to go first or?
Sure. Well,
so my devil's advocate one that probably is not going to count. I'd have to say Fallout 76 because my character's like level 90 some odd, so I'd have the best chance of surviving. I play by myself. You do die and you would have to go back to like a respawn point.
Well, you would have to start from scratch.
Oh, scratch?
Yeah,
because there's no game that you start from scratch. You go back to a previous save point or a previous like
no, like I mean, you start at the beginning of the game from like level 1 if it's an RPG. You're not starting with your current save file. You would have to start from the beginning of the game.
Probably anything military, to be honest. And the only thing that I want to play recently that actually has any military perspective to it would actually probably be the Thing remake, or remaster, because I was in the military, so I do know the mechanics of actual firearms and combat tactics. Now, I'm not saying I'd survive the monsters, but I probably have the best chance. But so it's probably the Thing remake.
Surviving. Okay,
remaster. It's not a remake. Remaster.
I've heard good things about that one. I have it on my wish list.
I have
when it goes on a decent sale.
Friday, I'm starting my Friday scary streams again. It probably won't be dark because it gets dark pretty late, and I usually go to bed around 9:30ish. It doesn't get dark until almost 8. So if I'm gonna play a couple hours, but I can close the blinds and pretend.
Yeah, Kenny says no New Game Plus. Exactly. You're starting like you just put the game in for the first time. No save data. You're starting from scratch.
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes more sense.
So, and Kenny says he loves Sword Art Online. It's one of the few animes I've seen. I did like it. He says Halo with the luckiest man alive. I definitely would not pick Halo even at the lowest difficulty. I could probably easy still die or like fall to my death due to some stupid, not watch my foot and all in the middle of a fight. So I definitely would not pick Halo. So, but
Okay,
Thing,
Caboose.
okay. What about you, Nightmare? Do you have a game that you think you'd have a good chance of beating without dying?
Not having New Game Plus makes it a little more difficult.
Yeah.
But I might just go with one of the Arkham games, maybe Night on easy mode. Just
You've got a
because
lot of
I've played
experience in
those
it.
games. I have played those games so many times, and Night is kind of the combat and everything is just the easiest to. It's just like the most fluid and everything, so it's the most the easiest one to not die in. So
Is it because you're actually Batman? Go,
I mean,
just humor me real quick. Go, I'm Batman. Just real fast.
Oh,
I don't have my AI voice on though.
I was just gonna say, I really, really hope you have your Kevin Conroy voice filter like ready to go on the fly.
I didn't know you had that. That's awesome.
He does have
though.
one.
Yeah.
It would have been awesome if you could have flipped that on and been into Kevin Conroy voice. I'm Batman. That would have been so perfect.
It takes 5 minutes to launch.
Oh
Bummer.
man, damn, that's a long time. But it's still cool you have that though.
Yeah, we've been on stream when he was. He's got a number of them as well. But
yeah,
he's done a few of them, and it's great. Okay, all right. Batman Arkham Knight, nice. Dude says he'd choose Warframe, but his reasoning would be a story spoiler because I will be starting that at some point coming up here soon as well. So, what about you, Carl? Do you have a game that you feel like you could beat without it killing you in the process?
Well, easily Fatal Frame.
Fatal Frame. What kind of game is that?
It's a survival horror game where you defeat ghosts by taking pictures of them.
Oh, I've heard you mention that one before. Yeah,
I've talked about it. Fatal Frame 2. Oh, incredible game.
Yeah, I just started playing Fatal Frame 1, and I suffer from night blindness, so it's hard for me to play that game.
I wonder where can you play that at? Where can you get those at? Because I don't think there's actually an official version on Steam.
If you have a PS3, I think you could get Fatal Frame 2 and 3 on Steam, on PS3 still.
Nothing on PC though.
No.
It's a bummer, dude.
You have to get the original copies for the Xbox or the PS2.
Yeah, because I had Fatal Frame.
Hold on. You can play the new. I think you can play the new Fatal Frames. I think those are on Steam.
I think there's like one on there or something like that. I'd have to look. I got it in on my list or something like that.
Yeah, both the new ones, the Maiden of the Black Water and Mask of the Lunar Eclipse.
Okay.
Those are both on Steam. The new ones are, not the old school original 3.
Yeah, no, I had the first one I played was actually Fatal Frame 2 on the PlayStation 2, which I still have that copy. It's just in storage.
Yeah, the PS2 copies are the more expensive one, but you can still get 2 and 3 on the Xbox for relatively cheaper prices.
Sounds like I'm going to storage and going on eBay. No, I'm just kidding.
Fatal Frame Project Zero, Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly, and Fatal Frame 3 The Tormented, all PS2 games have retro achievement sets.
Yeah, but they're scary, so you won't play it, Neil.
No, I know. I'm not going to play it. I'm just...
They're legit scary too. Sorry, I can't talk. It's like, yeah, they're legit scary.
So you think you can make it through Fatal Frame without you dying in the process, Carl?
Well, I've been to plenty of actual haunted houses, so I'm not afraid of anything anymore.
Yeah, but can you beat the game without your character dying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've already done it in real life, so I can do it in a video game.
Well, sometimes video games are harder than real life.
Yeah, if you're a coward.
What's this coward thing? All of a sudden,
it's like calling Marty McFly chicken.
Did you call somebody a coward today on Twitter too, or was it yesterday?
I can't remember. Most of that is just thrown out there because I'm bored.
I know, but it's funny because I'm like,
on
what is this
stream.
coward thing? And all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, he called somebody a coward on Twitter earlier.
But all right, so for me, I've got a couple of answers. One is
a couple. Well, we have options. I didn't know it was just more than one.
Oh, do you have another one you think you could do?
Yeah.
All right.
I think I could do Doki Doki Literature Club.
And your character can die in that game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like the point of that game.
Okay.
Wait, but then wouldn't you die no matter what?
Yes.
Wait, is that a spoiler?
Not really.
Okay, so I know that game is one of those ones that is a drastic shift in genre. If you don't know what you're getting into, you're like, "Whoa, did not see that coming."
You know what? I'd say let's have a fun one. I could beat Slay the Princess. There you go.
Okay, I know you were a big fan of that. That was no, that I was gonna say that wasn't your game of the year for that year, but I do
No, it
know
was
you
my
loved that one.
backlog game of the year.
Backlog game of the year. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, that game was great. Amazing. Everyone should play it. I bought the collector's edition because I found out that we have a collector's edition.
So, okay. So for mine, one of them is game. I freaking love this game, and I have beaten it on hardcore mode, which means if you die in the game, it's permadeath. So I have to start the game over, and that is Subnautica. So I think I would, I'd have a good chance of beating that one without dying because I know that game quite well, and I have done it before. Another one is a little bit of a cop-out, not a cop-out, but maybe a little bit of a cheap answer, and that is Majora's Mask, because at any time, if I feel like I'm going to die, I could just play the Song of Time and then reset the 3-day cycle and go back in time, essentially.
I feel like that's cheating.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a cheat, so that's why that's not my only answer, but I feel like I could do that one. And then my last one here is Metroid Prime, because I've played it a lot over the last year, and I've beaten it a few times without dying, so I think I definitely have a good chance to beat Metroid Prime without dying. So those are my answers for that one. So anybody else have any other games that popped into their head that they think they could beat without without ending in disaster?
I could probably. Well, you can't die in the game, so I was gonna make a joke. I guess that doesn't work.
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, that's why I did specify. It's like your character has to be able to die, because it can't be something like like Tony Hawk's character can't actually die in that. So
I'm about to say there's only really two skills that I could probably make it through something without the video game wise without dying. Something military related and something racing related, because I actually know how to drive. I come from like a family of racers, and
cool.
and being trained in the military, as a cop and stuff like that. You have to being a part of like basically kind of like Secret Service style details, but for the military, you have to learn how to drive.
Okay.
Very well.
So it says dream worlds don't count Neo. Don't count Neo writing his own rules. Well, it's not a dream world, and that's why I didn't have just one answer. So and Lois says I beat Kid Icarus on NES without dying when I was a kid. Can't do it now though. Canadian says I need to revisit that one. So all right.
I don't think I could beat any of the games that I beat as a kid now, because
this is for you, Ryan. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, there it is. There's Kevin Conroy.
Hell yeah. Dude, that's awesome. Are you serious? Did I grow up watching that show?
And
yes.
That's a little bit of a delay from the time he says
this is me.
The time the AI does it.
Dude, that's so awesome.
Oh, go ahead, say the line.
The AI runs on GPU, so it's a little slow.
Okay. Oh, it's an AI. Wow, that's really cool. I can just lower my voice like this. That's all I can really do.
I'm the one speaking, but it converts my voice.
When you said BRB, that's what I figured you were going to do.
Okay, well, I'm thrilled. That's awesome. Thank you for doing that.
No, I actually was using the bathroom.
Oh, okay. But
He's
now
like,
that you're
I was in
Batman,
the
you gotta
mirror
say
talking like
the
this.
line. Say the line.
Let's give it a try. I am vengeance. I am the night. Bounty and Dark Melon.
Oh,
Dark Melon? That's what
It doesn't work that well when you're.
I am Dark Melon.
Yeah, it was messing up there. Darn.
It was struggling. It tried. It almost did it.
I am
It's still-
vengeance.
There you go.
I am the night. I am Batman.
That was
Okay.
better.
That was better. Your arms on your avatar were moving when you were doing it, so I think it was screwing it up.
I think it has to do with the loudness. Would be my
No,
guess.
the arms are there because there's a beta for the software I use that can do hand tracking.
No, that's actually really awesome, though. Like I said, all I do is go, "Oh, I'm Batman." Like it's like that's it. So,
Yes, I'm Batman. So, well, thank you for that, Nightmare. I appreciate you taking the time to do that.
Hit the applause button, Neo. You got one.
I don't have one. Ryan has one. Ryan, hit the applause button.
There we go.
Okay.
Thank you,
Sometimes
Ryan.
sometimes it comes in like low, so like I haven't been using it as much.
Neil,
Well,
you
I
need a
figured.
nut button. That's what you need.
I
Oh,
need a
what?
nut button.
The nut button.
I don't want to get banned off of the internet.
You don't get banned. It just says nut. That's all it says. What do you think I was
Just-
implying, sir?
Oh.
What is most people implying when they use that word on the internet?
Wasn't there were a series of items called Nut, Super Nut, Ultra Nut, and Max Nut in the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga?
That's
At least
true.
the first one.
I wouldn't know. I know Carl would know that.
I didn't know that either.
So, and Lois is saying that actually I beat one of the recent Trails games without dying on hard mode too. Nice. So, and he's saying Termina is a dream world. It doesn't really exist. Well, none of these worlds really exist, but when did Termina, was it ever a dream world within the Zelda? Like Link's Awakening, that was a dream world, but when was Majora's Mask ever a dream world?
Is that the game where
I don't
Link
remember
has a seagull girlfriend?
That Link's Awakening, yes. That's the one that is on Canadian's list of hate bonus points if he plays it.
You know what? That I take that back for a movie. I want Taika Waititi to direct that game.
Direct a Link's Awakening movie.
And Cindy Sweeney is the pelican girlfriend. Or sorry, the seagull girlfriend. There you go.
All right.
I guess Sydney Sweeney's resurfacing with everybody because she just broke up with her fiance or whatever.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'll be sure to never think about that as a possibility in my life. Thank you.
All right. Well, on to our last topic for tonight, and that is our favorite game from the next year. And as we finish off Party Chat with this question every year, every week.
Every year, baby.
Not even every week. Every episode. Is so last time we talked about 2002, so today we're talking about our favorite games of 2003. There weren't a whole lot of games, in my opinion, that were like top tier in 2003. Because normally I got like, a whole list of games. I did not have very many games from 2003 to pull from. So, but that's just me.
What?
Yeah, same actually.
You're crazy.
All right, Carl. Since it sounds like you got a lot to talk about for games from 2003, let's hear them.
Well, first off, we have two really good ones on this list here.
Canadian says he's currently playing Link's Awakening and he's hating it. I don't get it because I love that game. That's the game that got me into Zelda. But go ahead.
Like, we got probably like one of the best games of all time on this year, and that is Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay. I'm not a huge fan of that game, so.
Oh my goodness. And then we got Going Commando by the Ratchet and Clank series.
I probably would like. I've always wanted to play the Ratchet and Clank games. I just never had a chance because I never had a PlayStation.
You got the best game in this series too, Jak 2 from the Jak and Daxter series, which I think is one of Naughty Dog's best games of all time.
Another franchise I would have liked to have played if I had a PlayStation.
You have like one of the best licensed games out there. Lord of the Rings: Return of the King came out this year as well, man.
I never played the Lord of the Rings games.
Oh my goodness!
Really quick, since you mentioned Jak 2, did I ever tell you Kevin Conroy was in Jak and Daxter 1?
I could see it.
I think I remember you mentioning that, but
yeah, he voices like a random fisherman in the game.
I think it was on a stream that I was watching you.
Oh, okay. But yeah, he was a random fisherman in the first game. So just because I was Kevin Conroy for a few minutes back there.
Yeah.
Shout out to the late great Kevin Conroy.
I do have a legit question though. I know I talk about Knights of the Old Republic a lot, but you're really not a fan of that game, or is this just like retaliation because I keep talking about it?
No, like I don't have anything.
He doesn't play RPGs. You got.
It's just not that high on my list. I do when you're talking about like story, one of the best stories in the games ever. I just don't care for the game because the gameplay is pretty.
He doesn't like real Star Wars. That's what he's saying.
It is real Star Wars. I just don't like the gameplay of that game very much.
That's what I mean. You don't like real Star Wars.
Yes, I do like real Star Wars.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, my favorite Star Wars game is Force Unleashed 2. So.
Oh, we did talk about that.
That's a good.
I'd rather play Force Unleashed than Knights of the Old Republic.
I mean, all I'm hearing you say is I don't play real Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too.
I played Knights of the Old Republic.
Fake fan.
It's just not
Fake
that
fan.
high of a game in my lexicon of games. I'm nothing against it.
Grifter.
Liar.
Knights of the Old Republic's gameplay is not very good.
Neo's regretting
Sounds
this
like
right
a hater,
now.
man. You a hater.
No.
Drinking that haterade over there.
I'm not hating on anything. I didn't say it's a bad game. I just said I don't care for the gameplay. It's a fantastic story, though. I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. It's just not for me.
It's not turn-based, is it?
It's essentially turn-based. I call it pseudo turn-based because
It's not turn-based at all. It's
you
it's
queue up
whatever the
actions
sun
and then
feels
they
like it.
play out. You don't actually control your character in real time. So it's
so kind of like
turn-based.
Xenoblade.
I have no idea.
I'm just hearing I'm allergic to fun.
Oh.
I don't know,
There's so much
I
better
understood
games
it.
to play for Star Wars that have better gameplay than Knights of the Old Republic.
I can
Is this
see it
because
if
like
you're going
you
to play
hate
a game
Caden?
where you
Is
get-
that what it is?
Well,
If you're
I
going
don't
to
hate
play-
Caden either.
If you're going to play a game where you can swing lightsabers around, it should be a real time, hack and slash.
Thank you.
It is real time. Depends on the time.
You can pause the game in the middle of combat. It's not real time. No, actually, I can't make that argument. Forget I said that. Forget I said that.
No, I think there's a better way to put that.
Yes, there's a better way to phrase what I meant, but
he's like, got him, and then he's like, oh wait. It's like,
If your actions
Gretch.
don't execute when you hit the button, it's not that.
That's the best part about Knights of the Old Republic. You don't know what you're gonna get. It could be a critical hit. It could be a miss. Who knows?
that was another thing that drove me nuts. It said miss, miss, miss. I'm like, what do you mean miss? I saw it hit him.
It's like the wheel of punishment in the NFL. Who knows?
it grazed his armor. He didn't hit.
It's like I
Glance
found-
off.
But I didn't know any. It was based on like D&D and dice rolls, which I had
Yeah.
no knowledge of when I played. So I played actual like tabletop RPG Dungeons and Dragons afterwards, and then it gave you a greater appreciation for Knights of the Old Republic. But it's just not, not my favorite game. But it's not bad. I do not hate on it. So don't put words in my mouth.
That little thing that we just did there was magic. I like it.
Okay, it's like mom and dad are fighting again.
I mean, just for the record, you gained two viewers watching the stream during it, so
Maybe I'll have to clip that out as a segment.
you really should.
But yes, I know a lot of people love Knights of the Republic, and it's a lot of people's favorite Star Wars game. It's not even my top 5 favorite Star Wars games. We have a top 5 about that, but it's not a bad game. So that's why I didn't put it on my list of favorite games from 2003. But
So yeah, there's a lot of great games still in 2003 that I'm surprised that you guys are saying that. Tony Hawk's Underground, I'm surprised that a lot of people aren't like. Is that on your guys' list at all?
I know a lot of people love the Tony Hawk Underground games. Those are the Tony Hawk games I never played, so I can't say.
It's because you didn't like Bam Margera. Is that what it was?
I was never too fond of him.
I can see it now.
Not that I kind of like KOTOR. It's not like I disliked him. It's just I wasn't fond of him.
You're more of a Steve-O guy. Is that what it was?
I've heard that name, but I don't even know who that is.
Did you ever watch Jackass growing up? I gotta know this now.
I didn't
Oh
watch
my
Jackass.
god!
I didn't have MTV, so no, I never watched Jackass.
Oh wow!
You didn't need to have MTV.
I wasn't allowed.
You always
If
knew,
it
like,
makes
a
you feel better,
friend,
I wasn't
yeah.
allowed to watch MTV. So
Well, that's different.
I know
the only Tony Hawk
Johnny
game I ever
Knoxville,
played
but that's
was-
because of the movies he's been in.
the
I
only
definitely
Tony Hawk
watched
game I ever
Jackass.
played was Pro Skater 2 because
That's a good one.
Spider-Man was in it.
Yeah. Ryan, what is it that you just said?
I said I definitely watched Jackass. Now, nothing will. I think probably the funniest thing that ever came from all the whole Jackass thing was when Mad TV did a spoof of it. And it's like, and this is Kenny Rogers' Jackass, and then of course, like Will Sasso was dressed up like Kenny Rogers, and like the musician, the country musician, and then he did a bunch of Jackass stuff, and it's hysterical.
I have
So-
no idea what you're talking about, but all right.
I think what
Do you watch Mad TV either?
Nope.
I might have
So-
seen like an episode of
I've-
it once.
I've
I know
seen-
Key and Peele both came from there.
I've seen a
yeah.
couple episodes of Mad TV, but I've never.
Oh,
seen
Deborah
Jackass.
Wilson, the famous black
Oh,
lady in all those
Deborah
video games.
Wilson.
She was
She's
on
in
And
that.
then,
everything now.
that famous voice actor also came from there. Lamar.
Oh, Lamar,
Lamar?
Jackson, Phil Lamar,
Not the
yeah,
Phil Lamar.
Lamar, Samurai
Yeah.
Jack.
Well, yes, that's not
Green
what I first looked at
Lantern,
him, but yeah, he's a
Osmosis
good-
Jones. He's a
He was
really
in
good
Spider-Man
actor.
2. The original, like the movie Spider-Man 2. He was in that.
He's
was
voiced
in,
a ton of stuff.
Pulp Fiction. He was in Pulp Fiction too.
The movie, like
Nice.
the actual Pulp Fiction movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's the black guy they shoot in the back of their car.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna.
I mean, in
I'm not
Spider-Man
going
2,
to
he's
mention
just
anything
like
about
one of the
Pulp
random
Fiction because we'll
passengers
go on
on the
another
train.
tangent.
So.
I was gonna say this,
Definitely went on a tangent.
Since we're still on a tangent here, my favorite Jackass stunt is when they're dressed as hockey players waiting in line at a bank, and like the other guy comes in as a hockey player. It's like, I remember that dirty hit from last week, and they just start brawling in the middle of this bank line, dressed up in full hockey player gear.
I thought Jackass was funny, but where it really got to me and I didn't like it is when they would do something and the guys would start throwing up, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch this. Like, because
Yeah.
that was one thing that actually, when I was a kid, would make my stomach churn. So, but I used to be like I was like one of those kids who's a little weird. Like if I was like watching like a history documentary about mummies, like you see all the dried, gross skin of a dead body, like. I wouldn't be able to eat anything after that for a while because I'd be like, I just constantly think about it. I don't know. I was a weird kid. I'm still kind of weird. I don't
Thank
think
you. Lois is there saying, I didn't watch any of this stuff either, so you're not alone. Thank you, Lois. Expectations. Appreciate you backing me up.
Every time you say lowest, you say it so fast it sounds like Lois. I'm like,
I know. That's what I keep saying to him, man.
Is Clark here too? Like,
that's why I've been trying to be for that exact reason. I try to make a better point to really enunciate the T, lowest. So
lowest.
Sometimes I don't do the best on that one, but thank you. Lowest.
Like I said, there's like so many good games over here. I'm just kind of like looking through this list here, but like probably one of the best clones ever made. Simpsons Hit and Run came out this year as well.
Okay. Is that
I wasn't allowed to play that.
And I can never keep it straight because I always thought Hit and Run was the Crazy Taxi ripoff, but it's the GTA
Road
ripoff.
Rage, yeah.
Yeah, I just learned that recently because I had those two games flipped in my head.
Also, one more game too. Probably the most controversial game came out during this time too. Manhunt for Rockstar. Do you remember that game?
I never played it, but I know of it.
Yes,
I know of it. Why was it controversial? I can't remember.
It was very violent.
It was very violent. Yeah.
Okay.
Another game too that came out. Ryan, obviously, Fatal Frame 2 came out this year as well.
Okay, I did not know that about Fatal Frame 2. Yeah, no, my pick was obviously going to be Knights of the Old Republic because that's like probably my favorite game of all time. But there were a lot of good games that came out. Like I was a big Command and Conquer fan, so I was really excited about Generals when it came out. And then I ended up, kind of playing it, and I was like, okay, it's pretty good, but it wasn't as good as like the Red Alert series, in my opinion. Yeah. But yeah, Fatal Frame 2 is another game I absolutely love. Love me some Fatal Frame 2. I've wanted to replay it for a couple of years now, and it's like I said, it's in storage, and I just haven't dug it out because I don't want to dig for it.
Also, one of my favorite EA Sports big titles came out this year as well with Def Jam Vendetta, originally released on the GameCube and the PS2, by the way. Not the Xbox, but the sequel came to the Xbox, which I thought was weird. And then, obviously, one of my personal favorites that please, Capcom, please bring it back for the love of God. Beautiful Joe came out this year as well.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a very big list of games that came out here, too. Probably some that other people heard about, like True Crime Streets of LA came out this year. Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire PN03 also came out this year as well.
I started playing that one last year for the GameCube launch event on RetroTunes, but I didn't actually get around to playing it in its entirety.
Yeah, I think that game you definitely want to play with emulator because, oh boy, does it not play well on a GameCube. But yeah, there's a lot of games that came out this year. I honestly kind of want to do more of a deep dive into this year.
Okay, yeah, all the games you mentioned are not. I haven't played a single one, so I don't have. I should have had you finish this one off because I only have 2 games to mention.
Well, I kind of just listed some. There's plenty more that I did not say just because of that.
All right. Well, we'll let you finish off with those after we go around here. Ryan, did you have any others from 2003 that you really enjoyed?
No. Well, the Lord of the Rings game, that is something I enjoyed after the fact, but I didn't enjoy it I didn't know of it at the time. So that's why I haven't included it.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter when you played it.
Okay, well,
when the game came out.
Okay, well then obviously the Lord of the Rings game on the PlayStation 2, was a big fan of those. I actually own both of them still. The hard copies, they're in storage too. And what was another one I was thinking of? Command and Conquer, Medal of Honor, World at War. I'm a big fan of the Medal of Honor games. I can't stand Call of Duty. I think it's probably one of the worst franchises in the history of the world, and I wish it'd go away. except for Black Ops and Mustache Man Zombies. Because if it was my channel, I would say the actual word, but I don't want to. It's not my channel. So, I really, but I think the Medal of Honor games are drastically better. And so yeah, World at War came out, and so it was yeah, big fan of those. I think the historical basis is much better. Big history guy. I love history. I watch documentaries for fun because I'm a weirdo. So yeah. Anyway, but those are probably going to be the ones that I would put pretty high on the list. I didn't really look further than that because
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
Rising Sun is the best one.
I'm looking at the PS2 versions of the Lord of the Rings games, Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King. Oddly enough, the Fellowship of the Ring game does not have a retro achievement set, but Two Towers and Return of the King does.
Because they're better games. That's why.
Yeah, I guess that would explain why. But okay. Lowest with the T, lowest says, I will work on my Lois Griffin impersonation to embrace the meme.
Just change your avatar to Lois Griffin. There you go.
Yeah, I was thinking more Lois and Clark, but still, that works too.
Yeah, I was thinking Lois Lane.
Yep.
So, what about you, Nightmare? You got any favorites from 2003?
Yeah, so I had to go look up what came out in 2003 because that was so long ago I would not remember what actually came out.
Yeah, I was at to look
Now,
up
if you-
the list
yeah.
of games that come out
22 years
each
ago.
of these years, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that was one. I like that one. I like that one. So
Yeah, because like back then I would have just played the game and not known when it came out. Or even if I played the game later, I'd never really cared what year the game came out.
right.
See, if you had said 2002, I would have had a immediate answer for you, and that would be Spider-Man 2004.
I think
Also-
someone mentioned that on the last episode when we were talking about games
nice.
from 2002.
Nice. Yeah, and then 2004, of course, it would be Spider-Man 2, but 2003 there was no Spider-Man release. So I had to look around a little bit. And
All right, see you later, Lois. He's got to run for his own stream. So thanks for hanging out. You have a good one. We will see you later. Have a great stream.
Hasta luego.
See ya. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye, Lois.
Make sure you tip your waitresses.
But yeah, so I looked at a few of the games that came out. I was thinking about the Pokemon games that Carl mentioned.
Ruby and
But my
Sapphire.
My favorite was Emerald, and that came out later.
Emerald is
couldn't-
great. Just
Yeah,
played that
so I
this
couldn't
year,
use that.
actually.
Yeah, because it was it was back when they still did complete releases, complete release of a generation. Now they don't do that anymore because I guess they sell more. And it was the one generation where you actually had a father, so that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, we talked about that on Open Mic.
Yeah. But yeah, so I looked through a few of them. I will give a special shout out to a game I've never actually played, but it's kicked off a bunch. Dead or Alive Extreme. That was the first Dead or Alive Extreme came out that year, apparently.
Oh, okay.
But
Beach
yeah,
volleyball.
so yes.
The Goonies.
And now we get games we can't even play in America. But yeah, so
Didn't the third one only get released in Japan?
I'm not sure about the third one. I know the latest one, Prism, is Japan exclusive.
I'm getting that soon. Gonna
Nice.
play that with my wife. We're gonna have a fun time. It has
Look at this guy
English
bragging about his-
subtitles, so it's fine.
Look at this guy bragging about having a wife. But yeah, so I looked at the games that came out that I actually did play came out in 2003 that I actually have played. I narrowed it down to a couple of them, but I think my answer would be Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, because that was such a charming, fun game, especially for a turn-based game, because I do not like turn-based games generally, but
Turn-based
It was
timing
really-
too.
yeah, well, the action commands actually made it a little more tolerable because it keeps the immersion up a little bit. Whereas most turn-based games, it's just you click something in a menu and then you just wait 20 minutes for the animations to play out. But yeah, that game, yeah, exactly. With that game, it actually keeps you in, and the writing is funny. It's got a lot of funny bits in it. And it's very entertaining, so I really like it. But some other honorable mentions. That one of the top contenders was Mario Kart Double Dash, which is my absolute favorite Mario Kart.
Yep.
I wanted to
Double
use
Dash
that
is
as my
kinda
answer,
old.
one of my answers for a third game, but it turns out that's the fourth game in the series. So. But yeah, I love Double Dash. I cannot for the life of me understand why Nintendo has not added some kind of Double Dash mode to the latest Mario Karts. Because, it was so much fun, so great, such a great concept. But yeah, so I love Mario Kart Double Dash. And then a couple of random games that were just like tie-ins. There was probably the most famous SpongeBob game, Battle for Bikini Bottom, originally released in 2003. So
Oh, the rehydrated remaster of that just left Game Pass a couple weeks ago.
Did you play
yeah,
it?
yeah,
No, I did not play that one.
I have it on GOG. It's pretty fun. It's nice. It's a nice game.
Canadian's there with you. He says, "Hell yeah, Double Dash." He loves Double Dash.
Nice. Yeah, it's the best Mario Kart. Yeah, so SpongeBob, and then there was a kind of a niche one called Fairly Odd Parents Break Into Rules. I don't know.
That's a
if
game I
anyone-
still need from my collection for original Xbox.
I'm
I had
assuming
that
that's based on the cartoon, right?
Exactly.
You never seen Fairly Odd Parents, Neo?
No, that was a little.
What were you
behind
doing
me.
in like the mid 2000s? What like
I was already in high school.
so?
Yeah, I guess I
I'm
get
not
that.
gonna watch a kid's cartoon.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, I
that's
watched
military.
SpongeBob in high school.
I've never seen SpongeBob.
See, Ryan has an excuse. He was out there fucking in the
God.
desert, all right, in a foxhole.
I was playing Halo with my bros, playing real video games.
I played Fatal Frame. Well, technically, I think I played Fatal Frame 2 in 2005. But no, I was still in the military when I played it. I wasn't in a foxhole. I've done a whole lot of foxholing since I don't know, Vietnam. I was in the military. And dude, I watched Buzz Lightyear: A Star Command when I was in high school. Like my 18th birthday, my parents got me Buzz Lightyear wrapping paper because I watched that shit after school.
You got a Buzz Lightyear birthday cake?
No, I didn't get a birthday. I didn't get Buzz Lightyear, but that Buzz Lightyear wrapping paper. It's a good show, man. It's a good animated show. All right,
I had SpongeBob bed sheets until I graduated high school.
There you go.
I never had any kind of bed sheets like that. I had just normal bed sheets, but I did have a water bed when I was in high school.
I always
Water
thought
beds were
those cool.
great.
Wow.
They were
I never-
great. My grandma had one when I was a kid, and sick
definitely
days
had a
in
water bed.
grandma's house was the best.
I always thought waterbeds were cool, but only ever see it like at a store.
I don't know. My wife just made me go to Costco with her so she could buy Dachshund bed sheets for our bed.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
You don't know what a Dachshund is? Like a dog?
Okay, I know the dog. I thought it was like some sort of brand of specialty sheets.
What,
Or
bed
something.
sheets for your dog?
No.
They have
they're-
dachshunds on them, right?
They have Dachshunds on them. Yeah.
Okay, dachshunds are cute.
Yeah.
And
I also had
saw-
Spider-Man bed sheets.
One of your dogs is a dachshund, right?
She's a Dachshund Beagle mix. So
Okay,
like
she's a mix.
She's the best of both worlds.
What was that, Nightmare?
So I also had Spider-Man bed sheets, and I had this really nice Spider-Man 3 comforter. I don't know what my mom did with it, but it was awesome.
I never had any like specialty like branding bedroom sets, I guess you could say, as a kid. I don't know. I always thought those were kind of stupid, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. So
That's what I said.
Yeah.
For me as a kid, I'm like, I don't know. I just never felt like right. Wearing a shirt was like cool. For like, do I want to sleep on Spider-Man? I don't know.
I think my mom threw out all my cool Spider-Man shirts. I'm still kind of mad at her about that. But yeah, Fairly Odd Parents was a surprisingly good game. Break Into Rules was a surprisingly good game for a cartoon tie-in.
That's what
This was
all the
another.
time now.
Yeah, well, this was both SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents. Those two games, from that I mentioned, both of them were from THQ, which I think had a reputation for making some pretty decent tie-ins.
Yeah.
And what platform were they? Was it?
I'm pretty sure both of them were on GameCube.
Okay.
GameCube, Xbox, PS2.
On everything. Okay.
Yeah, I know the PC version of Battle for Bikini Bottom was not the same thing. It was bad. I don't think Fairly Odd Parents Break Into Rules was on PC.
Canadian says, my wife doesn't let me wear my Star Wars pajama pants anymore.
That is
I'm sorry to hear
blasphemy, sir.
Yeah, that is not cool.
All you gotta
Too
do is
easy. There are so many easy layups I could have just did. You're lucky. I'm just holding.
all you gotta
back
do is
there,
put the
see?
pants on and be like, woman, you listen here. This
I
might
don't
be
think
why I'm
that
not
works.
married. I don't know.
I don't think that works with his wife.
It doesn't work with any wife.
Yeah, I
You
don't
will be
think you're gonna.
sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have very good results trying that.
Listen,
And
I play a fun game with my wife called I'm going to say something outrageous just to see what she does, and I still have yet to sleep on the couch.
one of these days. But dude says the worst thing about Double Dash was the AI. The rubber banding was terrible. I hate rubber banding so much. So, all right, Nightmare. Any other honorable mentions, or is that about cover it?
I think that was everything.
Okay. So I only have two because, like I said, there wasn't a whole lot from this year that I played or had a whole lot of fond memories of.
Yeah, I
but
already know which one is one of them.
yeah, you probably
Oh, yeah.
because it was on my number one on one of our episodes of the top five. But the one that's here is under that one is mentioned it earlier on favorite third game in a franchise, and that is Mega Man Battle Network 3. It is the only Mega Man Battle Network I have played, but I really enjoyed that, and it's probably the closest thing to a real JRPG that I've ever played, and I had a lot of fun with it. And I 100%ed that game, and it took like it was on Game Boy Advance, so I could take it with me everywhere. And the annoying thing was, I don't know how many hours I put into it because the in-game clock stopped counting at 99 hours and 59 minutes, and I probably played another at least 100 hours after that. So I have no idea how many hours I actually played. This is a long JRPG, and they only put 2 digits in the hour count. It's like, why not make that 3? It's a long game. So I don't know how many hours I put into that, but I like that one a lot. But my favorite game easily of 2003 is also my favorite Star Wars game of all time, and that is Star Wars Jedi Academy, which I'm assuming that's what you were referring to, Carl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it was one of the games that I really did enjoy, and I still very much enjoy too. In fact, I think I might want to go back and play it this year.
I'm going to be playing through the whole franchise from Dark Forces up to Jedi Outcast game, because it's been way too long since I played any. Although I did play Jedi Outcast last year on the GameCube version, but the GameCube, because of retro achievements, the GameCube version is not very good. That's the first time I played anything other than the PC version, and I'm very much looking forward to playing the PC version again. But I do plan to play through that whole franchise again at some point this year, because that's my favorite Star Wars franchise, and Jedi Academy is a favorite Star Wars game, and that game is great. And Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy are still to this day the only Star Wars games that have gotten lightsabers correct. And that's why they're so great.
Yep.
So, but so those are my favorite games of 2003. So go ahead, Carl, finish us off with a few other of your honorable mentions, and then we'll wrap it up.
Oh, no, we don't need to do that. I blabbered enough.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, that'll be the end of episode, 36? So thank you again, Nightmare, for joining me for another great stream, and my awesome co-hosts here, Carl and Ryan as well. So I'll go around the horn here and let everyone plug whatever they got going on. So Nightmare, what do you got to plug?
Yeah. So you can find my channel. Well, I have a YouTube channel. It's also Rumble, have an X, Odyssey, all that stuff. Slightly different name on every platform. But the channel is called Amazing Comics. Easiest way to find any of them is just to go to the website I use, amazingcomics.info, and then all the links are right there. You can pick whichever platform you like. I will have a video out soon, TM. I'm still working on the editing. Editing is hard, man.
Yeah, that's why I just do streams and I don't do videos.
Yeah, but it's going to be a long one too. So yeah, it'll be out as soon as I can get the editing done for it, and it'll be a good one. So yeah, that's what I got going on. Feel free to follow me anywhere you like.
Yeah, it's been great having you on, and definitely have to get you on for an episode of Top 5 at some point if you're open to it, where we rank our top 5 favorite of whatever the topic is. So I will mention that here in a moment once we get around to me. But thank you for joining me again, Batman. Always good to see you, and you help make me feel safe. So, Ryan, what do you got going on?
What I got going on is I'm going to be playing Dustborn at some point. I'm going to be diving into Yasuka Simulator, and I'm going to be starting this Friday night a show that I started my YouTube career with called Fright Day Night. Yeah, no, it's not really that original. It's a play on fright and
I like it.
To where I play a scary game. I turn the lights down low, and it's probably going to freak me out because I'm not a big fan of scary stuff, but I do like to play scary video games for some reason. I don't like scary movies, but I'll play a scary video game. So yeah, and of course I do Subscribe to my Legion Talk channel. The one that I've been commenting in the chat. I cannot get over 500 subs. I don't know what it is. I mean, and I've done some pretty steady content of putting out videos, but I think it's because I'm I've covered a lot of like Doctor Who and Snow White. That YouTube doesn't like that because
I think a lot of it is just RNG to make the fun there.
probably. So, and I've also heard that doing live streams and stuff like that, they mess with you. So it's like, anyway, it's one of those things. I'm trying to push that, but I'm just gonna do me. I'm in it to have fun, and so it's not like because I have a main channel that is monetized, and I don't do a whole lot of stuff with it, and I really should because I could actually make money there. But I enjoy doing the other stuff more. So anyway, that's enough about me. But yeah. So anyway, if you want to watch me play Dustborn, probably tomorrow at some point in time, I'm going to try to get past 40 minutes. Of course, I'm not going to do what I did last time, but at the same time, the game was so bad that I might not make it anyway. So
Are you going to sing along with the songs? You got to sing along to the songs,
there's songs.
Yeah, there's rhythm
yeah.
segments.
You haven't gotten to the songs yet? That's like part of
I
the
haven't gotten
maintenance.
out of the car sequence yet because I kept stopping like every 30 to 90 seconds going, oh God, what the seriously, if anybody watches that replay, you're gonna be like, yeah, dude, I look like I'm in pain. It hurts.
Well, you were.
Well, not just that. That was towards the end of it when I started getting like dizzy and stuff. And I'm like, dude, guys, I gotta go. Cause I was like, whoa, like I had like bad tunnel vision, but I think my electrolytes were low, which I've only ever felt like that once before when I had a really bad flu. And the flu was so bad that I actually passed out standing up and I actually crumpled to the ground and broke 4 bones in my foot.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, it was that bad. That's how bad that symptom of the flu was. But so anyway, yeah, it'll be fun.
So,
Like I said, it helps to have friends on. Everybody I've seen play Dustborn and get through it, they had other people on.
we can all tear it to shreds together.
If anybody has the guts to try to want to do it, I don't know if anybody wants that torture.
It's a funny joke. I would do it. It's not that hard to get through that game.
That's why I'm doing it, because it's a funny joke to me, because I know it, like there's gonna be things I'm gonna say because it's gonna irritate me and people are gonna laugh. But I think anybody else is probably gonna be like, why am I here? What are we doing? What the hell is this? Like,
well, it's also long after the hype of talking about it for 3 months in a row, saying like, "Oh my God, guys, it's the worst game ever!" Right?
see, and I even think that like a lot of people, I don't even think really a whole lot of people played it. I didn't see a lot.
No one did. No one did. That's the point.
I saw a few people playing it. Especially, I gifted it to at least 2 YouTubers and made.
I
them
know
play
a
it.
handful of people, but I don't know a lot of people. Like even the big people, I didn't see a lot of people play it.
Because there was no point. It was a DOA game that just was funny to make fun of.
And that's kind of like why I want to play it, because I didn't see a lot of people play it. And I was like, I'll play it. It's good. It'll be good content. And let's see how bad the game really is.
I have to say, it is probably one of the greatest psyops of all time. I do not believe that game was made to actually be so on the nose. It just can't, man.
Oh, the studio's making another game apparently.
It's pretty damn on the nose, I'm just gonna say.
Well, here, let me rephrase that. It is former devs that worked on games like Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and Detroit Become Human. So I guess French people are very on the nose. So it wouldn't shock me that they were probably very on the nose with this stuff too. Because if you ever played Detroit Become Human, geez, any more on the nose and you're cutting your nose off.
Yeah.
And that game was terrible. I don't know who likes that game. That game was terrible.
Some people like that.
I don't know why. That game was terrible.
I liked Heavy Rain. I'll admit that. I liked Heavy Rain.
The Jason simulator?
Yeah. But I also
and Sean, yeah.
I also liked Indigo Prophecy though, and that's where I first got introduced to them, was Indigo Prophecy. I think that's
I forgot about that game.
I think that's a really stellar game, but I think everything that they've done after that has been a hollow shell in my opinion. So Indigo Prophecy came out on the PlayStation 2. That's
the Xbox,
yeah. So it's been a hot minute, but yeah, I think that game was really incredible.
Now, if you ever want to do a playthrough series where you play those games, I'd join you to make fun of those while you play them.
so we can
That
argue.
studio didn't actually make Dustborn. I think they just like helped publish it or something.
No,
Okay.
it was former devs too that worked on at that studio as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those Concord situations where it's like devs left Bungie, formed a new studio, got picked up, published, kind of deal. Former devs worked at this one studio, got published with help from other people as well.
Oh, good
Yeah.
luck.
Angry Canadian's right. Says life's too short to play bad games.
I mean, I get it, but if I know it's something I'm gonna laugh about, and so it's like that's why I'm like, what are you gonna do?
According to the internet, every game's bad. So there you go.
There's some stuff that leans that direction. There's definitely some people that lean that direction when it comes to entertainment at all. So
It's just the internet. Everything's either the greatest thing since God or the worst thing since the devil.
yeah, that's why I kind of try to stick to my own opinions. I'll listen to other people's opinions, but I don't really run with them.
Exactly. That's why I always say, make up your own mind. Make free will great again, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, last thing, go give Ryan some support on his Legion Talk channel. He's 7 away from 500. He's at 493. So go give him a sub.
I know. That's just I'm in like that danger zone of stuck between bouncing down to the 87, then like 93, and then like 80. Just like ding, 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 and I'm like,
YouTube purgatory.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know who I pissed off with that channel. It's not big enough to have pissed anybody off, but whatever.
Oh, I just subscribed to you, so hopefully.
Well, thank you.
All right. And Carl, what do you got coming up?
Well, this Friday, I'm having Ryan on.
Because that hasn't happened yet. It keeps getting postponed, right?
Yeah.
I was fashionably late last. I'm like 3 months fashionably late, I think, at this point. So
Yeah.
it's so it's finally gonna happen.
Sweet.
You talk. Sorry.
That's fine. He's just on super Pollock time, so he's just super late on this one. That's all.
We can't say that because we're friends with Paul.
Exactly. And my stepdad's Polish. So there you go.
That you're double covered.
Yeah. No, but like finally we're gonna have Ryan on. Obviously, we're gonna talk about video games. We're gonna finally sit down and actually talk history because we're gonna have a really good chat about that. Obviously, I'm a history major, so it's always a really great thing to talk about that. And of course, video games, and obviously whatever else we talk about, because apparently I have a good chance of like getting people to talk. I've been told, so very looking forward to that as well. Plus, it's been long overdue,
Yes, it has. It's been very long overdue. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Well, what time is it again? To remind everybody.
7 p.m. Central, but if I need to, I can always push it back, just to accommodate you better.
So yeah, it's 6. Oh no, 6 p.m. is fine.
Yeah.
That's
So,
6
yeah.
p.m. for me. So that actually works perfectly. Because if we want to go a couple of hours, let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. I usually do 3 hours max, so there you go.
So yeah, and I mean, obviously we just sat here for 3 hours. I'm down with that. It ain't gonna bother me none.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that Friday. Obviously,
Me too.
Ryan. We've definitely
Me too.
It's been very fun doing this show with you, and Neo's been on so many times. I'm like, well, we got to get Ryan on. Come on.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to you guys doing a stream.
And,
Yeah,
and we
no.
could say all the gamer words too.
There you go. No, it was one of those things that actually before you asked me the other day, I actually thought about it and I was going to message you, and then you actually messaged me like a day or two later, and you're like, "Hey man," so I was like, "Well, it worked."
I think it's because, like you said, you messaged me a while back, and it's like, "Hey man, I got everything ready to go, so like, let's try to reschedule it." And then obviously all the stuff happened with my mom and everything else, and I'm just trying to work out my life, and it's like, yeah, I could do it. Let's do it. So this Friday it's going to happen. So I'm excited about that. Obviously, I think Ryan and I have very similar views on a lot of things, and it's going to be fun because we could get Neo to get mad, and it's fun.
Oh,
So now-
you definitely got that accomplished tonight.
It's all with love. It's all with love, obviously.
I don't understand why he hates fun so much. I just don't get it.
I don't hate fun.
I had fun once, and it was awful.
And then this Saturday, I'm actually having a special guest. His name is Leo Dixon. And what he is he is a VTuber who also streams video game content, makes music, and this is the real reason how I found him. he does sumo wrestling content.
Oh, okay. I remember hearing you mention that.
Yeah, so he's going to be on this Saturday at 9 p.m. Central Time. We're going to talk about, obviously, his career, his Twitch channel, his YouTube channel, and we're going to talk sumo wrestling. So if you want to learn all the fun facts about fat men fighting, this is definitely the show to be on, because he's the person that I found when I was kind of done with just watching like the Grand Sumo highlights that the NHK post every day. He usually does when the giant tournaments come around for the sumos. He will start streaming at 5 p.m. Central Time, and he'll go all the way to 3 a.m. Central Time, because that's what it is over there in Japan for the sumo tournaments. So if you're very interested in that, to stop by, learn about sumo wrestling, video games, and of course, there will be some sports talk, Nia. I know you're going to hate that, but there'll definitely be some fun bonding, because I know he's a Giants fan. So we can joke about our team suffering in purgatory for the last 5 years.
Which Giants?
The football.
Okay.
Is there another one?
Yeah, San Francisco.
Baseball. San Francisco Giants.
Oh, okay.
They're popular near me.
Yeah, so that's all I really got. Besides that, yeah, might stream a game next week, depending on what goes on with my mom's chemo. But got some other people lined up, but we're gonna verify that when it gets over there. So that's really all I have to say. Thank you again.
All right. As for myself, I'll be back here tomorrow night with some more Ninja Gaiden Black, because I'm making my way through that. And then Thursday night, Dude and I will be doing our monthly Achievement Chasers episode, where we talk about our achievements over the course of March. And he just came in and said, "Ew, sports ball." I agree. But as I alluded to earlier, next Tuesday is the next episode of Top 5, and we are ranking our 5 favorite video game April Fool's pranks. So I have to do a lot more homework on that one, because the Zelda one's the only one I knew off the top of my head. But I'm sure there are others. I just can't think of them because it's been so long since I thought about them. But no one said they want to join us for that one. So if anyone does have any and they want to hop on that stream with us, let me or Jason know. So
what is it for?
We're ranking our top 5 favorite video game April Fool's pranks. So like the Zelda trailer we watched earlier, that would be one of them. So, but yeah, so that'll
are there that many of them? Really? I didn't know that.
There are, because that when we were going over topics, backstage a few weeks ago, I was like, "Are there really that many?" And off the top of his head, Jason listed like 8, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, I guess there is enough."
Oh, I wish I knew more about the ones that came out. I mean, I'd jump on if I could, but I don't know anything about that. So it's like,
yeah,
I'd be worthless. I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That sounds nice."
Yep.
And then lastly, I don't know if there will be a party chat in 2 weeks, because that's the week of Vegas. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be, but I just can't say definitively yet. I have to get that figured out. So we may have an off week. So, but I will let everyone know once I've got the details nailed down whether there'll be a party chat on that week. If we do, it may not be on Tuesday. So I'll have to talk to you guys if you're even able to join, because I don't know how that's all going to work. But yeah, so that will be it for tonight's party chat. Thanks for joining us, both everyone on the panel and everyone in chat. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us and talking as we talk video games for a couple hours. And you all have a good night, and we will see you next time. And because Restream was weird and dropped all my clips, I don't have my outro thing, my logo. So have a good night. We'll see you next time. As always, in the meantime, game